In the last home game, Morris, a career-high 156 yards and a touchdown against ESU. And now they've got a breakaway for Miller.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Chris Field on the campus of Millersville University. We are the HSG Network coming to you live today for a Den MLF contest between the Central Penn Hitmen and the Jersey Jackals. We are here with Coach Pat Riley on my left and Howard Gaber on the controls on my right. I'm Art Elias, and we have a beautiful day for football today. Nice and sunny, a little bit of a breeze, perfect timing, perfect weather. And we wanted to take a moment and thank the Millersville coaching staff and the administration for allowing us to have this contest here today. They go out of their way and let us have the field and the press box and the concession stand, and they do a great job for the Hitmen here. And we're going to show you some highlights of Millersville from their past season.
In the last home game, Morris, a career-high 156 yards and a touchdown against ESU. And now they've got a breakaway for Millersville. Inside the 30 to the 20 to the 10. And that'll be a Millersville touchdown as the Marauders go ahead by 6.
Yeah, that was just a really poorly timed blitz by Shippensburg there.
And Robert Footman Jr. with the 75-yard rush to give his team a 6-0 advantage. The extra point is good. The Marauders go up by 7, and we take a look at and the sack there for Millersville. That's the play you want to end the quarter. Garrett Cox comes.
Put any type of attack together.
Footman in the air, and that'll be a big play to get things started here in the second quarter. In the gun. Footman under pressure, scrambles out to his right, has time, airs it out for Alexander, and Alexander has the reception for the first down.
Wow. Finish.
Under pressure and brought down is going to be Johnson.
Tyler Tate. See what's drawn up here. You get their guys open.
3rd and 11 from the 44. Footman scrambles to his right, has room to run. And Footman's going to have the first down. He avoids the first tackle. And again, Millersville finds a way to convert on 3rd down. Robert Footman Jr. doing it with his legs.
Smart decision. Now he's lining up. Watch him run it again.
Footman under center. About a yard to go. They hand it off to Pierce Jr. and he has the touchdown.
You really got to convert here, and I could see them going for it on 4th if they get a few yards here.
3rd and 12, a loss of 1 on each of the last 2 plays, and the defense is going to come up with the sack. Marauders stack up the right side, 3 receivers wide. Footman fires for Alexander, who is going to have the reception for a Millersville first down. Alexander toes the sideline. 2.5 minutes to play. Falco with the play action, scrambles under pressure, loses his footing, and he's going to be brought down. A phenomenal second half of football, and really all around a strong game here. A couple of costly penalties. Outside of that, pretty clean game. 3rd and 3, this is for the win. Footman keeps it himself, scrambles to the right. He'll have the first down, and that should do it.
And welcome back, everyone. And we are having the coin toss for the game. It looks like the Hitmen have won the toss and are deferring to the second half, which will mean the Jackals will receive the opening kickoff, and they will defend the school building end zone. And here we go. Well, I'm along here with the coach Pat Riley today. And Coach, what are you looking forward to seeing today in this game? Both teams last week lost, so they both started out 0-1. It's not easy to go 0-2 to start the season if one of these is going to happen today.
Yeah. So what I'm looking for is to see how they react. Coach Martinez, he's had a lot of success, or he's early in his career. He had a lot of success, and see how he bounces back from a little adversity. Coach Kerr, obviously, he's been doing this a long time, and I think they're going to be ready for whatever the Jackals have as far as offensively.
Yeah, the Hitmen last week had a tough battle against the number 1 ranked team, the preseason ranking Brooklyn Seminoles. I believe they lost. I did have that written down, but I think they lost 20-14. It was a good game, but the Seminoles are a very strong team this year, and they took the win in week 1. The Jackals played. The Jackals went up against the Owls, and they had a tough 14-6. That was also a very good game, hard fought.
Well, that game, I was there for that game, and that game turned into basically a mush fest in the second half. Both their quarterbacks were gone, I believe, late in the second quarter.
Yes.
And so that ended up being a battle of the backups, and it looks like the Owls were more prepared as far as depth at that position.
Yeah, the Owls are another strong team this year. They got a very strong defense, and it was they took that win. So again, it is difficult to start your season 0-2. So both of these teams are gonna be really looking to try to get a win today to stay in the hunt for the early part of the season and the playoffs. So here we go. The Jackals, number 93, which is let's see where we at here. Number 93, Mr. Michael Schroeder. Number 92, I'm sorry. Michael Schroeder is the kicker for the Hitmen, and they will be going from our left to right. The Hitmen are wearing the black, all black with the green numbers, and here we go. The kickoff's taken from the 12-yard line, right up the middle of the field. Good coverage by the Hitmen special teams.
Well, it was definitely good kick coverage. We had, pretty much a ball the players in the middle of the field. He could have broke that to the right, I feel, and had some more success.
Yeah, it looked like he was going return middle, but he ran into a whole pile of guys. So the Hitmen are going to, the Jackals are going to come out with number 8, Khalil Trotman at quarterback. Again, he was involved in an incident in last week's game, and he had both him and another quarterback from the other team were removed from the game. So, again, his backups were playing in the second half. So we'll see how they react, see if they're prepared. And they're going to come out with a 4-wide set, single back to the left. Trotman will back to pass. He's throwing into the flat, and a nice job by the defense there. Looks like number 26. That was number 20. I apologize. Javante Hayes coming up on.
Yeah, Hayes defended the flat very well there, and that's a lot to do with scheme, and they're prepared for those short passes. I think they're going to try and take away what the Jackals do well, and that's getting the ball in space and using their team speed.
One thing we did notice about the Jackals last week, they do have a lot of team speed. They're a little undersized on defense, but they're very fast. Again, similar set, 2x2. Trotman back to pass. He's looking long down the right sideline, and he has a player. And it is completed, and he's going to take that into the end zone. A touchdown on the second play from scrimmage. Trotman goes up top.
Listen, when you're playing a team coached by Coach Martinez, you definitely cannot give up the big play. That is their bread and butter. That was their success last year. The big play is they're going to live and die, so take that away, and I think you can be a little more successful.
Yeah, and that was number 81. Let's see here, Maurice Hubbard, wide receiver. Now, Coach, one thing I did notice, and we'll look at it on the replay when we get a look at it, it looked like there were two receivers in the same area. It looked like kind of a pile there going down the right sideline.
Yeah, it looked like the designed play looked like it was a post under. I don't know what the under route was, but he probably shouldn't have been there.
Okay, so the Jackals are going to line up for the extra point.
Looks like they're going for 2 here, Coach.
And I don't remember seeing the Jackals kick at all last week. They did score twice, and I don't remember seeing them, so they are going to line up for 2. And they are going to, looks like they're going to take a timeout. They were short a man. They only had 10 players on the field.
Yeah, that's tough to have a timeout, waste a timeout after a big play. You want to get up right out there and run that extra point, especially if you're going for 2.
Okay. All right, so that was just a quick timeout because they just wanted to get that 11th player on the field. And so far, third play from scrimmage today that the Jackals have had in the same setup. 2-by-2, 1 back. And looking at the middle of the field, over the middle, and that's tipped.
Yeah,
So
again, they ran
no
a little mesh concept there, and again, when you're defending at the goal line, that's really, really tough play. You want to, especially if you're going to be 4 wide, you're going to want to use that entire end zone to defend.
Yeah, he was going for Jaquel Bailey, number 1, over the middle. And, Coach, we'll take a look at the replay on the touchdown here. And brought to you by Douglas Explosives, And, again, they come out 2-by-2, and it looks like Hubbard is lined up wide on the right side, and you'll just see Trotman kind of drop back. He looks it the whole way to the right. He knew where he was going. And it looks like they ran like a little cross there.
It looked like a post wheel, but the post was very skinny, and the wheel was very tight.
And it looks like the both of them almost going for the ball at the same time, just about. But he got behind. He definitely got behind the defense. So.
Yeah, great pitch and catch, and way to finish the play. Would like him to see to tuck the ball away a little better, but
celebrating going through. So, all right, so 6-0. Jackals going to start that off today. Now they're going to kick off, and they have number 31. Well, my eyes are not good today. 31. Tamar Jackson. And he drives the ball short to the 23-yard line. He's going straight up the field, and that's a good return. It's going to be good field position for the Hitmen.
That was a great, patient return. He was very patient, got in behind his blockers, found a little room, and ended up picking up 22 yards on the return.
Evan Morrell, number 7, was the return man. So last week we saw the Hitmen try to establish the running game, and that seemed to be what both teams, the Hitmen and the Seminoles, were battling with last week. And they do have decent size on their O-line, and it was a pretty good battle. So we'll see if they go with that again. David Legree is their quarterback, and he's a good one. He's a big quarterback, and he can sling it down the field. And Legree will open up with a pass. Complete a quick out to number 17, and that's going to be Mark Edwards. Edwards was an integral part of the game, the passing game last week.
Legree is going to take advantage of those soft coverages with those hitches. He's going to make those calls probably at the line of scrimmage, pre-snap, get an idea, have his check with me call, and I really think that they have to demonstrate an ability to disguise their coverages, because if you sit back in soft coverage, you're going to get hit all day.
Yeah, Legree is 6'5", and he's got a very strong arm, and he's a veteran quarterback, so he does know how to read defenses, that's for sure. And he'll work under center now with a 2 tight end set.
Mick looks like he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
Yes, it does. And it's going to be a stretch left or stretch right, and that was shut down quick. I want to say that was number 24, Jermaine Williams. No, number 34. I'm sorry, James Rosal. Rosal had a busy game last week.
He came off the edge. He came off hard, and he, you know, you have to have enough guys to block everybody at the point of attack. And when you're down one guy, it's gonna create negative plays, and that's what they ended up with.
00, Henry Taps is a defensive player that played for both you and I on the Pit Bulls and the Knights for many years. And Henry's working inside now, and last week they pretty much working at defensive tackle now. He's at he's still working at defensive. He predominantly defensive end for us for a lot of years, and now he's working inside. He was up the field on that play.
He's a great team leader.
3rd and about 6 yards to go for the Hitmen. They're going to go out of the gun. And Legree's looking back. He's going to run up. He's pointing. Going to call his own number here. Nobody open downfield, and he's going to be short. Yeah, Legree had looked like he had the fullback coming out of the backfield down the middle, but I don't think he saw anything too enticing.
Like the Jackals are getting it done with that 4-man rush. I mean, they're going to have to deal with – these guys are big, strong guys, but this offensive line – he's going to have to do a better job of blocking their 4-man front.
No doubt about it. 19, Corey Hagee, defensive back on the stop. That's going to bring up 4th down. And I doubt very seriously over the 50-yard line. Coach Kerr on the Hitmen, he likes to go for it on 4th down. He went for it a lot of times last week. And in Jackal territory, I would expect the same.
Well, he's a numbers guy, and he likes these numbers.
All right, we have a tight end left, 2 receivers to the left. It's going to come in motion, and that's going to get flagged.
80, I think 81 was moving when 7 was in motion.
So false start on the Jackals, on the Hitmen. That's going to put them back another 5 yards. They did have a manageable 4th down there. Now that's going to make it about 4th and 8.
Yeah, punter's on the field.
And I believe they are going to try to kick this one away for some field position. So Jordan Hallman, who doubles as a wide receiver and a punter, is back in punt formation. Dante Bryant, number 5, is his protector, short man.
Flipping the field here for either team here. This is a big play. You flip the field here, it could change the everything. The
Jackals have a short return man on the 30 and a deep one, and this one straight up in the air, but not too much distance downfield. And that does bunt. That does drop at the 33-yard line, and that kind of just died there, right there on the field. So he got the ball away, but he didn't get too much distance on it. So one of our sponsors for today is Project Fiber, LLC. They were established to meet growing demand for bandwidth over fiber optic networks. My previous experience as an OSP program manager for a large telco has provided me great insight into the expectations and demands of completing this work as efficiently as possible, as we are prepared to meet or exceed those expectations. Project Fiber. And you could tell that Howard had a long night last night before he wrote up our pieces that we'll be saying today. So he's napping now. We let him have that a little bit, usually before the game, before it gets too out of hand.
He had a glass of warm milk.
Yeah, that's without doubt. All right, so the Jackals will come out now for their second set, and 2 plays and a quick strike has set the tone so far for this game. Troutman is back in the shotgun. He will pass, looking out right and way over the head.
Yeah, that was a bad pass. It looks like if he would have taken advantage of that hitch, I think it could have been a 6-7 yard gain there. Instead, it was he sailed it over his head. Could have been intercepted.
And it looks like we got a flag down by the wing official there, so we're going to see what they call. And it looks like, it was an eligible player downfield. The wing official at both scrimmage lines on either side.
My guess is they covered the tight end up.
Yeah, that's probably right. You know what? That's exactly what it was.
It was a tight end to that side, and that's shame on the wide receiver, and it's on their sideline. They should have recognized that.
And that's what those officials are checking pre-snap. And so the Jackals are going to start out again. We're going to replay first down. It's going to be 1st and 15. 2x2. Back offset to the left. And Trotman's going to pass again. And another kind of hitch play out to the right-hand side. And that pass was low and away. That was intended for number 81, and that's Maurice Hubbard again. And
looks like Trotman just tried to throw that ball. He didn't have his feet set. You know, the most important thing is any throw starts from the feet, from the feet, and you're trying to use all arm, and that's why that sailed a little low.
Yeah, he's throwing a nice spiral, but you see that thing just kind of sail away, down and away. So that's second down and 15. And so far, he's had a lot of time to throw the ball. We haven't seen too much pressure by the Hitmen here.
Looks like they made a late substitution at receiver.
Yeah, and they're going to have to
Brought
hurry
their tight
here.
end back in.
There's no actual play clock showing, but we can kind of keep our own in our head. And he's going to hand off to number 28.
Yeah, that play, the defensive line just swallowed him up.
Dante Simmons. Looks like had the blunt ran. He only had a couple yards, maybe a yard or two if he was lucky. That's going to bring up a long 15. That's just a quick handoff, and that really Hitman had that sniffed out.
And I believe that's Leon Foster that made the tackle.
Leon Foster, number 13, as always. Longtime pit bull and Knight again. They're all over the place. And 3rd and 15, similar setup. A little bit tighter this time by the wideouts. Trotman is back. He's looking long to the right again, and that's picked off. And that looks like that's number 22 on the Hitmen, and he's got a lot of room to run on the right there, and he might take this back all the way. That's a touchdown, Hitmen.
That's an excellent job of reading the quarterback's eyes, sitting in space, taking advantage of what they do.
Number 22, Tyrus Winstead, strong safety. What a pick! And I saw that ball kind of die down. He went down, got it, got right back up, and just worked that outside, that sideline.
Like I said, excellent job. Not a great job in pursuit on the tackle, but.
And we'll definitely have a look at that on the replay after the extra point. So Trotman decides to just go back to the well again to that right side, and he's not. One thing, Coach, he's not trying to disguise where he's going with the ball. He gets the snap. He locks on the whole time. Yeah.
Looks like they're going to go for 2 here, Coach. Quarterback's on the field.
Okay, so Legree comes out. And they're going to go for a 2-pointer here.
I'm wondering if the coaches are factoring in the wind. It is a little breezy down on the field today.
Yeah.
That may be why they're choosing to go for 2.
All right, so Legree comes out. He's got a tight end left. No, I'm sorry. It's 2-by-2. He might be changing the play here. He's giving directions to his back and the center. Snap, Legree, he's dropping back. He's going to run, and he's it.
Oh,
yeah,
great catch.
That's a great job. Wow. And it's number 7 on the Hitmen. It's Evan Morrell, number wide receiver, number 7. And Legree kind of stepped up. I thought he bailed out to his right. I thought he was going to run that in, but he waited for that play to develop.
Well, Morrell just sat in space and just stayed there. Tried to find the open spot in the field. He knew where he had to be. He didn't want to get in the way of another throw. Excellent job.
So we'll take a look at the Douglas Explosives replay of the pick. And, Coach, you said it. He kind of sat, 22, Tyrus Winstead, he kind of sat and waited on this ball. Yeah, now, again, you'll notice Trotman just he's looking right the whole time. And I'm not sure where he's going with it. He's trying to fit it in there.
Very patient play. That's an excellent job by that young man. Sitting, waiting, taking advantage of it, and then getting behind his blockers and getting right to the end zone. Looked like that wasn't a great effort by the offensive line there to try and catch him. But
no,
can you blame him?
No, that's a lot of extra running that's not necessary right now, I guess, early in the game. But for whatever it's worth, the Hitmen will now go up 8-6, and they will line up into kickoff formation. 2 deep back for the Jackals. That's a shorter kickoff to the second line. That's going to drop to the 25-yard line. picked up by number 28, it looks like, and he's going to the right, and he's taken down pretty quick. So that was Tayron Marset. He actually is one of their cornerbacks for the Jackals on the return team. He's going to bring it up to about the 29-yard line, and the Jackals will start 1st and 10.
Now, I know you said it a lot last week. Why are you letting punts and kicks hit the ground? That takes away about 3 seconds of your return time. So 3 seconds there could have been difference between a 5-yard return and a touchdown.
One thing that I noticed with the Jackals, they have their second line there's a big gap between their second line and their deep 2 defenders. So,
but even that that was a fieldable ball.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so Trotman's got to shake off that pick 6 and come and bring his team out. And the ball's on the ground, and he is rolling right. He's looking over the middle, picked again. Oh, threw it right to him. Threw it right to him. Yep, the ball was dropped at the snap. He was able, it kind of took a bounce. He was able to pick it up, scoop it up, go to his right. I'm not sure where he was going. That was Nathaniel Barnes, the linebacker. We'll have another look at it here real quick before we change sides. So here's the Douglas Explosives replay.
What you're going to see here, Coach, is anytime the quarterback has to take his eye off the football and downfield, he is going to have issues with getting his eyes back up. So whether it's a bad snap or just a bad mesh like that, his eyes come off his guys downfield, and he's going to make mistakes. And that's where he threw another interception.
So 2 picks, and the Hitmen are in business right now. They're going to take over 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line, just between the 22 and 23-yard line. Legree is back in the gun. He's looking to his left, and he's running forward. He's deciding that he's going to take it. The ball's down, and fumble. Number 44 on the Jackals, Tyreek Glenn.
So listen, the Lord taketh and the Lord giveth away.
Yeah, and you know what? That's not a good job by Legree protecting the ball. I know he's a big man. He's got big hands, but he's got that thing out there, and he's carrying it like a loaf of bread, shall they say? That's an old expression, but that's exactly what he did. Now, he's over there, and he's yelling at some of his players on offense, you should be doing this, should be doing that, but guess what, D-man? You dropped it. So if you're going to run, tuck it.
Yeah, turnovers at this level are the difference between winning and losing. And
so
the last 3 plays have been turnovers.
3 plays, 3 turnovers. You're right. So the Jackals are going to come out. They get new life going from the 30-yard line now. And they got 3 wide to the right, and they're going to run a simple dive to the right-hand side. That's going nowhere.
They go outside zone, and they lose 5 yards. I mean, you got to set your protection. Your offensive line has to be at the point of attack. It was just a bad job of blocking the edge defender.
Yeah, Dante Bryant, that was number 5. He had the we'll call on that. So excellent work by the D line, the front there, it looked like, and they've been given in the run game anyway. They've been giving the Jackals some work here now today.
Well, yeah,
up front.
It looks like Corey Burrell. He's a big guy, number 90. He's going to be tough to deal with. Especially if they plan on going right.
And again, 3 wide to the right again. Offset back to the right. He's going to flare out to the left. And Trotman's going to look for him again. And a similar play to the first. That's exactly the same play that they ran on the very first series. And I believe that's the same player, too, that snuffed him out there. Number 20. That was number 25 out of the backfield for the Jackals. That was Najee Gibson. And I believe it was number 20, the cornerback. And that's Haynes once again.
They're doing an excellent job of defending the flats, and that's all in there. Listen, they watched the same game we watched last week, and they're going to take advantage of those short passes and trying to keep them at the line of scrimmage.
And excellent tackling too, Coach. Right? Because he's got. Yeah, if he doesn't make that play, now he's looking for help from the inside. So now 3rd down, and it looks like 6 yards to go. 16 yards to go. And There's going to be.
We got a
Yeah,
timeout.
it looks like a timeout because I don't know. And we're
Delay
going to get a
game.
delayed game. But they did throw the penalty on him. So the Jackals have had a couple issues with. They've had they had to burn a timeout earlier, and they've had a couple issues with their alignments, and it's just taken too much time, unfortunately. But so now they're going to go back another 5. So we're looking at just over 20 yards for the first down.
Yeah, moving backwards seems to be the theme of this drive here.
You look down at the play sheet in 3rd and 20, and it gets kind of small.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we have a tight end left, and we have 2 wide on the right. Backs offset to the left for Trotman. And he is back. He's under a lot of pressure. Going over the middle, looks like crossing pattern. That's going to be just for a pickup of 5 yards. That was extremely short, and we've got a little.
We got a flag. Listen, the play itself was a great defense. They kept everything in front of them. They don't want to give up that big play, but it ended up being a 6-yard gain, 7-yard gain, and now we have a penalty.
Ricardo Patterson was the receiver. Trotman was under some heavy pressure from the left side, and he bailed out to his right. So after the tackle, we had a little business on the pile underneath there, and we're going to sort this out. So we have a personal foul on the Hitmen, and just one. A lot of times you'll get offsetting or you'll get double fouls inside there with something on the bottom. So that's going to be 15 yards, and I don't know if
believe that's automatic first down.
Automatic first down, then, yeah. Yep,
in the NFL, it's automatic first down.
Yep, so looks like somebody got a little fresh underneath the pile there on the Hitmen, and they gave up that first down. So Jackals have new life coming out for 1st and 10 on the 41-yard line.
And that's just discipline. I mean, how do you have them in a punting situation, now it's first down in good field position.
2 by 2 back to the right of Trotman. And he's got 4-man front he's up against, and he's got a little handoff to the inside, and that went nowhere again.
That's a great job by this defense. They're really swarming to the ball. Running the ball is going to be tough if you're not going to get blockers out in front.
Number 5, number 1, Jaqual Bailey was the runner. He's usually at receiver, but they've got him lined up in the backfield. Again, Bailey
was a tremendous athlete.
One that came into the game last week and had to take over a quarterback when both quarterbacks on the teams went out. So he's still in the backfield. And now we have movement on the O-line.
Yep.
So movement, somebody moved early, and that's going to cost them 5.
Yeah, sometimes the penalties can really kill a drive. They have a little success. They get a first down on a penalty. And, again, they're continuing to move backwards.
And it actually looked like I don't know this for sure, but to me it looks like the Jackals are – it's almost like, I don't want to say a no huddle, but it just looks like they're going a little quicker than what they normally would. And handoff up the middle again, and a little bit more success on that, but swarmed under again. That's going to bring them back to the original line of scrimmage, so I picked up 5 yards on that.
Yeah, Bailey's the kind of guy you don't want to let in open space because he will go.
Yeah.
Very
no
fast.
No doubt about it. So Bailey, this is the first time in 2 games that we've seen Bailey working, other than quarterback, working out of the backfield in the running back situation. The Jackals do have a couple different guys that they used at running back last week.
Third and 9.
3rd and 9. He's back to pass. And he's under pressure, and he gets hit. And that ball is, he's lucky that wasn't a fumble. He just looked like his arm was just going forward, and he got it swatted.
He got it swatted. They hooked his arm. The defensive lineman did a great job. That was I believe that was 42, 44.
44. That is that's Chris Roan.
Yeah, he's a big man
Yep.
also.
Chris brought the thunder there, and he got some work up inside there. So now we have a 4th down, and it looks like 9.
So it looks like they are keeping their offense on the field.
They are.
To me, this is a punt situation. Trust your defense, but again, they feel like they're in a better position.
So similar to the Hitmen earlier, they are going to go for it on 4th down, except the Hitmen were in Jackal territory. The Jackals are still in their own territory on this side of the 50. So here we go. He is in gun, and Troutman's back to pass. He's looking right. Oh, and he had it.
Oh, that was a great throw.
Yep.
Great route. Just
Number
couldn't
2.
make it happen.
Jameer Robinson, wide receiver, and he did have it in his hands. And what do you think? I think he looked like he turned his head to go upfield before he had
didn't
it.
complete the catch. Listen, that's more important than the yards after. You have to complete the catch.
And Tyus Winstead, he's a strong safety for Hitmen on the defense there.
Yeah, if you're thinking about getting hit, you're going to drop the ball.
Absolutely.
You have to know you're getting hit on every play.
So the Hitmen are going to take over in really good field position here from the 42-yard line of the Jackals. We're still early in the first quarter here. And Legree is going to go under center with the old traditional I formation here. Oh, into the backfield. And that was just a simple dive, number 52. And that was defensive lineman, Ramir Artis. Just kind of knifed in there. Somebody missed an assignment.
Yeah, when you're running a zone blocking scheme, you have to make contact with everybody on that front, especially front side. And you can't let the front side player make a play in the backfield.
Yeah, when you see 2 blue jerseys like that running through, somebody didn't get off the ball. That drives an O-line coach crazy. That I could tell you. So 2nd and down. He just got back to the line of scrimmage. And Legree will be out of the gun now. And he's going to hand off inside again. This time a little bit more room. And that's not a bad run.
That's a good hard run.
Yeah.
It was great blocking up front. I mean, they pushed the pile.
Yep, they got at least 6 yards. And that was number 13. That would be, excuse me, no. Number 13 on the Hitmen. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Yeah, you know what? There's 2 number 13s on the Hitmen. Leon Foster on defense and Cody Lamoureux. He was the one that ran that out of the backfield. So he's listed as a wide receiver. Actually, he's listed as one of their quarterbacks. I think we saw him last week at late in the second half last week. He played some at quarterback. So they do have him in the backfield now. And another handoff inside to Lamoureux. Nice bounce on the outside here, and good cut. That's going to be a 1st down.
That's a tough little run. Good job. He gets the edge, takes advantage of every blade of grass he can get across, and gets down to the 30-yard line. That's a great job.
Number 32 was the defender, and Malcolm Moore, linebacker. So the Hitmen will pick up a 1st down on the 30-yard line, and they're doing it on the ground now. So they must have found something that they like, Coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, he found a crease and he hit it. I'm not sure if the inside linebacker was a little late to the party there, or if he was sent on pressure.
Looks like a regular 4-man front. So, and we go stretch left with Lamoureux, and there, once again, too many Jackals in the backfield. So Legree takes the snap, and it looks like he's putting it out there to kind of go. I guess you could call it stretch left, but nowhere to go.
Yeah, you have to have numbers to run outside zone. You have to have the numbers. If you don't have numbers or the right personnel to make those blocks, you're going to struggle.
And they're relying on the front 5 because they have 4 wideouts. So they're asking their 5 down linemen to make that happen.
But that sets up bootleg and other plays that they can run.
So they lost 2 yards on that play. That's got to be 2nd and 12. Legree's in the gun again. And he's going to go inside handoff to Lamoureux again, and there was a big hole there. And that's going to be a pickup of about 10 yards. And Looks like it's going to bring him down to just a couple yards short of the first down. Tamir Blair, number 35, was on the defensive stop.
Yeah, well, he found a little cutback lane. He hit it. Great job of making something out of nothing. But and the front five on that play looked like they were blocking down.
All right, so that's going to be the end of the first quarter for today, and we have a score of 8-6 on the Central Penn Hitmen. So far, evenly matched. We will be right back with more action from today.
Can we shut off the bottom fan so we can hear the delays? Where's the electrician?
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire in the hole!
Okay, everyone, and we are back at Millersville University, Christ Field, for today's matchup between the Jackals and the Hitmen. And real quick, I'd like to just give a read for the officials. Referee Phil Harding, the umpire is Dave Miles, head linesman is Pat McCann, line judge Paul Mastropiero, field judge is Ron Kinslow, side judge is Vince McQuiggan, and the clock operator is Mark Bregeman.
Mark's a hell of a guy. From everything I've heard, I've never heard anything bad about him.
And we have a third down and about 4 here. Deep in Jackal territory. I think the offensive coordinator's got a full book for this play. It looks like he's changing it, Coach.
Well, that's where experience is going to pay off. You have an experienced quarterback.
And Legree goes to the right, and it looked like it was going to be. Oh, and they're going to get, and they are going to get. I guess they're going to get pass interference there.
It looks like he had his hands on his back as the ball was coming in, because I did see his head move when he was up for the ball. Take a look at the replay.
Yeah, he was trying to go for a quick slant. And again, assuming Legree was changing the play pre-snap. And we'll do the Douglas Explosives replay here again.
Looks like they picked up the flag.
Oh, picked it up and wiped it off? Okay.
The flag has been picked up.
So one thing that when you look at the Jackals' defensive backs, they are very, very slight. They're on the thinner, smaller side. They have a lot of speed. But once you get past their defensive line, they're very small. They're very small in the defensive backfield. They're very fast, but I guess Legree trying to take advantage of some man coverage on the outside there. So he's back in the gun again, and he's going to go back inside to.
And he's picked up the
first down.
Coach.
Yeah, right back to Lamoureux, and that's going to be a first down.
Listen, and again, I don't understand it sometimes. Defensively, they had numbers to that side. Also, offensive line did an excellent job of blocking. And now they're in the red zone.
Yeah, I like that they're switching to a more up-tempo. So Legree again, and he's going to pull it, and he's going to keep it on the left side. Oh, my Lord. That is just a very big man running at a quarterback, and it's almost not fair that you've got a 260-pound quarterback and you got about a 150-pound corner kind of come up and try to make the tackle. So,
well, listen. I was waiting for that to come because I knew when they run those zone plays, you only have to read one guy and make one guy miss, and that was a great job. Pull that ball, take what they give you. He picked up 8 yards there.
Yeah, so Coach, on a play like that, Legree is going to he's going to read that end man on the low. Oh, okay, wait a minute. We do have a
Looks like a sideline.
Oh, sideline warning on the Hitmen. They're a little bit past their 25-yard barrier there.
Well, I think they were a lot past, Coach.
Yeah, on that play.
To the
so
10-yard line.
Legree is reading that last guy on the line of scrimmage before he pulls and takes that.
Yes, and what that's going to tell you is that's going to freeze them. Now that guy is going to remember that play, and is going to give that extra second to the running back the next time they run that play.
All right, we'll see if they come back with it, the Hitmen, for a future play call. So now, 2nd and short 2.
Looks like they have 2 outside the ball to the
left side there, yeah. And they're going with number 42 right up the gut.
Yeah, if you're going to put 2 guys outside the ball, coach, if you're going to have a corner and an outside linebacker outside of the last offensive player, you are going to get your +1 in the box. You got to run the ball.
So you got to run the ball up the middle. Good call. So Marquise Edwards, my bad, 5'8", 195 pounds, and number 42 again on the Hitmen. So straight up the middle of the field, going to be 1st and goal from the 8-yard line.
Yeah, and they're back to that same look. They got 2 outside the tight end.
More guys are creeping up there, it looks like, a little bit from the defensive backfield. And they're going lead right to the left-hand side there with a fullback. And that was number 34. I believe that's James Rosal, James had a big game last weekend.
Yeah, he takes, he's going to take the ball, takes 3 yards, but down here 3 yards is a mile.
Yep. So now we're going to come up with 2nd and goal from the 5, and they're going to keep that two back look there, and they've got number 40, looks like number 47, Ben McToy, and he's listed as a tight end, so he's lined up in the backfield, and again right up the middle, and that's going to be very close to the end zone, but he's got him down just before the goal line. And this is just simple. This is just textbook simple
Coach,
football, Coach.
It's numbers. They have the numbers there. Take advantage of it. They're bigger up front, and they're taking advantage of the numbers. You have 2 outside that tight end. It's going to be tough to stop those inside runs.
So we haven't seen any adjustment on this series by the Jackals to put anybody else inside. Right now they are now, but certainly not up to this point. 3rd and goal from the 2, and Legree's going to call his own number and just kind of, I think he just got in.
He's in.
Okay. Yeah, so Legree, although, a guy 6'5", you're going to call your own number. Most of the time you'll see guys kind of duck low behind the guard. He stayed big and high. He kind of went to the right, then kind of forward.
Yeah, there was a man in the gap, but he had him by about 6 inches in height and probably about 40 pounds in weight.
So the Jackals taking on the chin on that drive there, and they just it looks like the Hitmen found something that they liked in the run game there, and that was once they got into the red zone, they just it was run.
And again, they established the fact that they could run the ball, but again, a punt would have made that a little harder. Jackals punt on that last series, pinned them back a little bit,
right?
And maybe it's instead of a 55-yard drive, that turns into a 75-yard drive, and it's much harder.
No, that's absolutely gave them the short field. So they will call on Michael Schroeder, number 82, to try the extra point. And again, he's going from the this will be the NFL extra point.
Looks like
and that was blocked. And also, I apologize, my mistake. So the Hitmen have numbers 00, Ian Altish, who's actually the punter, and he is lined up for the extra point. But we had offsides by the Jackals. Looks like somebody got a quick break there on the left side.
Yeah, so it looks like they may go for. If I was the head coach, I would say, hey, we only have to go a yard now. Let's go for 2. But again, let's see where they're at now.
So they move the ball. Well, it's still listed at the 10-yard line. I guess they're going to talk it over. There's a whole lot of players on the field, including Coach Ron Kerr, and he's questioning. I guess he's questioning what they're doing. So I think they want to know where they can move or what their options are.
From my experience, the option would put it at the 1 or the 10, and they're choosing to kick.
All right, so they're choosing the 10, and they're going to kick again. All right, so Ian Olish is going to line up again. 0. That looks like the Hitmen have a late man running on. They were short one.
That's probably why the last one was blocked.
It's a very good possibility. Snap is down, ball is away, and that's a good extra point. So
Good little kick.
the
Great
Hitmen are
job.
going to go up to 15-6 on the Jackals. Let's have a we're going to do a quick read here for Jennings Environmental Services. As a family-owned and operated business since 1984, owners Troy and Riker Jennings take pride in providing quality services for our customers. Jernigan's Environmental Services, Inc. takes pride in our local community and supports various sports, scholarship, and community foundations. They are licensed and insured to serve you in Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. The employees are certified in electrofusion, socket fusion, butt fusion, and sidewall fusion, okay? We participate in ongoing training and certification sessions for Willapumps fusion and various additional geothermal applications. Jernigan's Environmental Services.
Now, Art, aren't you certified in butt fusion?
There's a very good possibility that I would make that certification.
I'm just saying.
So number 82 now, Michael Schrader will line up to do the kickoff duties.
Yeah, we've coached against Michael. Michael played for the Harrisburg Sharks of the NEAFL.
Great kid.
Back a few years ago. And I
And Schrader drives the ball down the field, and that's a nice kick down to the 15-yard line. Number 2, looked like he had a little head fake there, and he's going to go down just over the 20-yard line, just over the 30-yard line. I apologize. Number 2, Jameer Robinson, he's listed as a wide receiver, and he's obviously on the kick return coverage.
So he catches the ball in the air, and it serves him well. He's able to get his eyes down the field and find the crease, and picked up about 16 yards on the return.
Imagine that, how we talked about that. But all right, so the Jackals are going to start 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line. Now they got some work cut out for them so far. They've had after their second play from scrimmage on that long touchdown pass, they've kind of sputtered on offense a little bit and kind of some unforced errors.
They're a big play team, Coach.
Trotman is back to pass. He's looking out to his left, and he's got a man deep up the sideline, and he has connected. And that looks like that's number 81 again.
So, like I said, Coach, they're going to live and die by the big play. The Hitmen did a great job. I couldn't catch his number. The corner did a great job of keeping him at the line of scrimmage on a little press, but then let him run by him.
Yep, so Hubbard goes up the sideline, and Trotman finds him, and that's a nice pickup for the Jackals. Get them into Hitmen territory, and they'll set up 1st and 10 on the, looks like 30, I want to say the 38, 37-yard line. And here we go. 1st down. He's going to try an inside handoff to Bailey again to the left.
So it looks like Bailey said, nope, nothing going that way. I'm turning the other way, and decided to exit stage left.
Yeah, so he's got picked up a couple yards on that. Leon Foster was on that stop.
And I don't know if I'd want to be tackled by Leon Foster. How about you, Coach?
Not I. I don't want to get tackled by him. No, I don't want to meet him in a dark alley. Leon is a big man.
Leon is one of my favorite players I've ever coached. And what he told me last week was, this is it. This is his last ride this year.
Okay. See if he can go out on a good note. So 2nd and 8. Trotman back. He's looking left, and he's looking long, and he's got his man wide open. And that's a touchdown, Jackals. How about that?
You know, I don't know how many times we said it. It's a big play offense.
Yep.
You have to take away the big plays, keep everything in front of you. I know it's easier said than done, and this is a very experienced coaching staff. that the Hitmen have. They have to make that adjustment to keep those guys that can catch in front of you.
Number 2, Jameer Robinson with that grab again, and I think Trotman had his pick on the right-hand side. It looked like they both of the receivers beat their man on coverage. So,
yeah.
And it looks like I don't see any safety help coming over the top.
Well, they were in like a cover 4 shell, and they just sent 4 verticals. It's that simple. It's going to be the guy that can get the deepest is going to win that battle.
So they will go for 2 with Bailey lined up in the backfield. Trotman calling the signals, and he's giving it to Bailey right up the middle, and he's in for the 2-pointer.
Hey, listen, offensive line imposed their will there. They got they got down the field, got set. Like I said, you want to keep that momentum going, because going for 2, it's all about how fast you get to the line and how fast you get that ball snapped.
You know, and sometimes it's a little surprising when you see a team. Let's look at the Douglas explosive replay on that pass. So they come out 3 wide on the right-hand side, and I don't know. I'm not sure what. So what'd you say was, Coach, cover 4 here? It looks like
you got 2 high safeties. I'm assuming it's cover 4, and if you look here, it's just he got behind him. That's just not.
Yeah.
That's just a scheme issue there.
Yep. Three.
I can guarantee that's not where he was supposed to be.
Right, and that
go down and ask coach at halftime. I can guarantee he wasn't supposed to let him behind.
And that inside receiver was also going across, and he was open. So 3 receivers lined up on the right, all 3 wide open. Troutman had his pick. It's a little pitch and catch, and we are now at 15-14 Hitmen.
Well,
so
they made it a ball game, and they did it quickly. They did it exactly the way they had to do it, quickly.
Number 31 on the Jackals. Tamar Jackson is going to be kicking off. And if you see the Hitmen, they use a different formation. It's like 5-2-2-2. So the ball's short, and number 6, it looks like on the Hitmen, has that, picked it up. It looks like he juggled it a little bit. He kind of took it on a one hop there, and he's just going to get back to the 33-yard line, it looks like.
If he picks that ball up clean, I think he has a nice lane up this sideline. It wasn't a lot of blue jerseys on the side of the field.
There was not, no. And that, but again, like you had an excellent point you brought up with the quarterback. When the ball goes down or you take your eyes off what's coming in front of you, you lose your sight advantage going downfield. And looked like he was just worried about picking that up and getting on top of it.
Absolutely.
So 15-14 again, Central Penn Hitmen. 9 minutes left to go, just over 9 minutes left to go in the second quarter. And see what Coach Ron Kerr wants to dial up in this to answer what they saw their defense let up in the first half here, or the second quarter here. Legree's going to hand off inside, and they were pounding it up in there pretty good.
Raheem Ridley, Coach, on that carry.
Number 29, Raheem Ridley, the veteran. And
veteran's an understatement, Coach.
And he's been playing as long as I think Leon's been playing. Again, former Pitbull and former Knight.
I think Raheem's been playing a lot longer than Leon.
Yeah, he probably has, and he's familiar with this out here. Yeah, the Central Penn Piranha, former team playing in a fall league from many years ago that were always a powerhouse out here, and Ridley did play for them back in the day.
So I think Ron Kerr's formula here is just run the ball.
2nd down and 6. He's going to hit Ridley again, and Ridley's going to kind of stumble there. He had a hole, and it looked like the 40-yard line stripe came up and bit him and tripped him up. That was
still a manageable 3rd down. So third and 4, absolutely manageable. It's better than 3rd and 8, obviously. So.
And when Legree handed that off, it looked like they were going back to that
read option.
That read option there, whatever. Yeah, because it was the proximity of him handing that ball looked like the ability to pull it out.
Like to see number 7 at the top of the screen. And we have trips to the left, Coach. Trips to the right, I'm sorry.
Trips right. And Legree's going to pass, and that's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Oh, and could have been picked off, too, because that that got batted down and that got bounced up for a little bit there. So
Henry taps, great pressure there. 52 tipped the ball, but that was great pressure. They brought the entire offensive line back to Legree.
Yeah, Henry is just a load. When you tell him go ahead and rush the quarterback, he just knows how to rush the quarterback.
Coach, I don't think you ever have to tell him to rush.
Yeah, Henry. We're still trying to find some bodies, and Henry's got buried around the tri-state area. He won't tell me where they are. I ask him all the time when I see him, but he won't give up the info. But so number 12 on the Hitmen, that is Jordan Hallman. He will be back in punt formation. And Holman gets it away, had a little bit of pressure, nice high punt, nice long punt, and they're going to let that one bounce, and that takes a nice Hitman bounce down to the 14, inside between the 14 and 13-yard line.
Listen, that was a great punt. A lot of wind. Like I said, it's pretty breezy on the field. We can feel it up here in the press box. It's pretty breezy, and that ball gets up in the air and it just dies, and that's exactly what happened to that one. It kind of hung up. Great distance, but I think he had a little more leg on that than the distance it traveled.
Absolutely the one before. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, he got that one with some distance on it. So much better than before. So now the Hitmen will come out again, and they get quick strike offense. And we'll see if they're going to go right back to it. 7:10 left on the clock for the half. Hitmen have one timeout left. I believe the Jackals have one timeout left. The Hitmen should have all three.
Looks like a too high look again.
And Troutman is going to hand off to Bailey again, exclusively Bailey in the backfield, and the ref shut it down.
Yeah. Again, that play was going to go nowhere because I don't think that's where it was designed to go. You have to have a little bit of faith in your offensive line. I looked like a hole opened up inside, and he just exited stage left.
So one thing that you're talking about with the Jackals, so they're kind of putting it on their O-line. They're with four wide. They're asking the O lineman to get that done. The five up front to get it done.
Well, if your quarterback's not going to run, it's 5-on-4. Essentially, you have a 5-man blocking surface against a 4-man defensive line.
And same set of now. I'm going to be back to throw, and he's looking left on a long out just past the first down line, and that kind of died on him a little bit.
A better throw, and that's a first down. I mean, that was a great route. He was open. He got underneath his man, underneath the coverage, and had plenty of room to the boundary to make that catch and even turn it up the field.
Yeah, I don't know if that had anything to that he just underthrew him, or the wind is blowing from our right to left in, so they are going against the wind. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but
well, it didn't hurt him on the last pass.
No, it certainly didn't, right? So 2nd and 15. Jackals have been in this set pretty much all day long. Troutman's back to pass. He's going directly over the middle, and that is to and no tackling, and he's off to the races. That's going to be a first down. Number 5, Ricardo Patterson. And again, and number 20, that was, let's see here. We have Javante Haynes. Coach, Troutman's he's definitely not trying to look off anybody on defense. He's looking exactly where he's going with the ball, and he looked right over the middle, right at the snap.
Well, the passing concept was great. Everybody spread out, and he just hit the seam. The issue here is you're letting guys get behind you.
All right, so we have looks like a shaken up player.
We're going to take
on
a look at that one.
Yeah, we have it on for Doug's explosive replay here. And describe what you saw again, Coach, on this.
So here you have we're number 6. Number 5 here. He's they're going to talk blah blah blah. Now he's going to get lined up, and you're going to see he's going to release inside. Great spacing. You got Hitch underneath a little post. And again, a play designed for 10 goes for, 30, 25.
Now, Dante Bryant and the missed tackles don't help you. Now, Dante Bryant, the linebacker, number 5, I don't believe that he got depth enough on his. If he's going to be covering over the middle, he kind of stopped, let that guy get behind him I'm thinking maybe he should have been.
Well, he shouldn't have been
dropping.
that deep. That's the safety zone there. So
Okay,
in
all right.
my eyes, he's looking to hook, get to the hook, and then sink or get out to the curl, depending on what coverage they're in.
Okay.
And I don't think he'd be responsible 11 yards up the field over the middle.
Sounds good enough to me. So safety, no safety help, and when they did get there,
Well, the safety was
couple
there. He's
missed-
underneath. He
just
let him
missed,
get behind him.
Yeah, missed tackles. All right, so the Jackals are in business at the 50-yard line, and they're going to go back to Bailey up the middle, and he's got nowhere to go. But he makes something out of nothing because he is bouncing around. He's pretty elusive.
Yeah, you don't want to let him get loose. Getting him on the ground isn't easy. He has great quick twitch. His hips are great. You have to wrap him up and get him on the ground.
Omar Young-Jordan, number 84, on the stop for the Hitmen. So he does manage to squeak out 3 yards out of that. And it's going to be 2nd down and 7. Now we're noticing a little bit later in the second quarter here, the Jackals are a little bit more slower now on offense. They're huddling up.
And it's probably going to serve them well, Coach, to slow the game down.
Yeah. Three wide on the right side for Trotman in the gun. And he's going to fake that handoff, come back to a little pitch to the outside.
I think we're going to have a hold here, Coach.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. That looked like a WWF takedown. So lots of flags, and I think they're going to get number 2, Jameer Robinson, on the hold to wide receiver. But now I want to see what the flag from the deep wing official, they're going to talk it over because he threw one in too. So I'm going to see this might offset. They definitely got number 2,
he was
Robinson.
holding.
He was wrapped up.
All the extra stuff is what can kill a drive. So something like that, you get a probably a 3-yard. You have now 3rd and 4. It's going to turn into 2nd and 12.
So he declines that, and we have offensive pass interference, and they're going to accept that one. That one's going to cost them a little more.
I'm not so sure about that, Coach. That was a screen pass thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I don't. So that may be an NFL rule that, but for as far as I'm concerned, to me that's a handoff.
So yeah, we have Mark Bregman, our clock operator, is a
he's no Gene
is
Scarator,
official, but he
did give me the rule and he did tell me.
Yeah, so we have our
volunteer. You forgot that part.
Yeah. He's not on our payroll anyway, so he will give an unbiased opinion. So the Jackals are going to start out now here on a 2nd down and about 20. And they're going to come out of the passing set. He's heavy pressure, and they shut that down again.
Yeah, we have a false start.
And that's going to be
Listen, this is a
late hit.
So you're going to have a roughing the passer that's going to negate that other penalty. So you're going to end up with 2nd and 20.
Phil Harding takes his pass roughing the passer penalties to heart. He's very demonstrative when he calls those. He does not like those.
Yeah, well, again, that's an important position. Taking out a quarterback, especially at this level, can ruin the game.
Yep.
An injury to the quarterback can really, pretty much end your day. Not many teams have incredible depth at that position.
So we did get the first flag, and that's what whistled it dead on the Jackals. And then we come with the personal foul, roughing the passer, and that was after the whistle. So they will probably just go ahead and they're just going to accept it. They'll give them the they'll just go ahead and give them the 15 yards.
It should be an automatic first down if they're both enforced.
Yeah, so it's going to be
first
down and 10, right from the 47-yard line. So we've had some penalties, and again we were talking about unforced errors and how they just kind of especially derailing your offense.
Yeah, and again, taking advantage of the Jackals have to take advantage of the fact that
come right back to the same play and played a little up and down with the ball there. That was again out to number 2, Jameer Robinson, and I think he came back with the same play, Coach.
Absolutely, and I would run it again. If they're not going to defend it, I'd keep running it.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
Hitmen are very far off the ball on that.
Again, you have a very fast wide receiver core on the Jackals. That you have to either defend the flat, especially there. If you're going to go trips, you have to defend that flat. Either squat it.
So a quick out to Robinson, and he kind of played the tip drill there, and then he tucked it and wait. So we have a short second down, and we're going to go right up the middle there. That's going to pick up the first down. That looked like that was fullback. I'm going to get his number for you in a second.
I think that was 34, Coach.
That would be. Oh boy, I don't even want to try to pronounce
sorry,
that.
22, Coach.
22. Thank you, because I don't want to try. Khalif Parker Moore. Yeah, and he's down on the field right now, so he hit that down pretty. He hit that down pretty good. So far, Coach, it's pretty evenly matched right now. With about 4 minutes left to go in the game. If you're the Jackals sideline, what are you telling your guys?
If I'm the Jackals here, I want to use all 3 minutes and 45 seconds of the half and produce something, either get a touchdown. I don't think they have the ability to kick a field goal, and with the win today, that may be a difficult task to begin with. But you want to come away with something here. You've had some fortune of some penalties to get you in a position that you're in. Don't move backwards.
Okay. Now, as a premier defensive coordinator in your day, what are you doing in that hitman huddle to your defense right now?
I'm going to take my safeties and move them up a little bit. They're playing their safeties at 14 yards and 11 yards. Again, that's giving up too much grass in front of you. I understand that you want to keep everything in front of you, but that's a little too much.
Okay. So our player has been helped off the field, and it looks like he's kind of walking. Look like he's walking okay. And that was that was the fullback, Khalif Parker Moore. Looked like when he dove forward, he might have knocked the wind out of him. He hit the ground pretty hard with the ball, kind of right by his gut. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the for the Jackals.
Well,
I'm usually
Coach,
good for at least 2 or 3 Jag references throughout their game. So that won't be the last one.
Not 100% sure why they changed their name.
I'm not real sure either. But so here we go. 5 wide, and he's going to go long. And it's interesting. Again, the pass was to the left and didn't have a chance on that one. But we are still seeing Jaguars. There
Jackals.
you go. It just made me do it again. We are seeing Jackal receivers just kind of running free out there.
It looks like the safeties are just getting in their turn very late. You have to kind of catch your coverage. So when they're running at you, you have to open and start your run a little sooner than you're not. These corners can run with these guys. The safeties are a little bigger, stronger guys. It's a little tougher. You've got to almost cheat a little, especially when you're being pressed vertically.
So they're going to come up 2nd and 10 here. Again, 1 timeout left. I don't so much think the clock will be a factor for them unless they start getting down the field a little bit more. But and Troutman looked like he was saying something to his receiver out in the slot here. And he is back to pass, looking to his right, and that's a little comebacker to number 81, and that is that's our guy.
That's Robinson.
Sorry, Hubbard. Maurice Hubbard. Yep.
Yeah, that's a great little play. That's a great play by design. They're going to be in the soft coverage, hit that quick hitch or the quick out, get up on the line of scrimmage, run another play.
3 minutes to go, 2nd quarter.
And like you stated, the corners are playing well off the ball for the Hitmen. So Trotman is back again, looking left, and that would have been a great catch because that ball was off target.
Again, I think Trotman's not getting his feet set. He's just winging it out there, especially going to his left. It seems like when he goes to his left, he's not setting his feet. And, again, that comes with practice.
Yeah, and that's Ricardo Patterson that was out there. But, yeah, he does he can and not under any kind of duress or anything, but it looks like he's got some happy feet there.
But the receivers are getting open, Coach. I mean, they are. That was a 100% wide open receiver.
All right, so now we're coming up with 4th down and 3 yards, a long 3 yards. Bailey is lined up in the backfield. Looks like the corners are up a little bit more now on press, and we've got
Looks like
movement.
we're going backwards, Coach.
All right, so
Sometimes the hard count works against you, Coach.
and that one it
Sometimes-
did. It sure did. So they're going to have to make a little better effort on it now. So there's going to be a 4th and long now. So that is going to change up the playbook a little bit, choices. So we're looking at 4th and 8 now. They are in Jackal territory.
Yeah, if I'm the Jackals here, I probably would have ran the ball a little more on that. Maybe now you're stuck 4th and long. Your playbook's going to be pretty much you got to throw the ball. And my thing was keeping Legree off the field before the half.
Right. Good
So,
point.
If you don't get this, he's going to have a lot of time and not a lot of field.
So they are going 5 wide here. Empty backfield. Trotman is back. He does have time. He looks over the middle, and this is going to be close. No.
Again,
No good.
he caught the ball with momentum going forward, decided to try and get a little more when he had it. I really think he had that if he just fought forward, got up and played the next down.
Yeah, I thought for sure Hubbard had the first down on that. He should have just turned up. He was running literally diagonal to the first down line. So they're going to come up short, and that's going to be a 1st and 10 now for the Hitmen. And a good point that you brought up, they've got Legree comes back on the field now with pretty good field position from the 35 and all 3 timeouts. And we're looking at about 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go before
So really,
the half.
they have 4 timeouts. With the 2-minute warning,
With the 2-minute warning is going to be 4.
They did use a timeout earlier, I believe.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. All right, so they'll have 2 plus the 2-minute. And as suspected, Legree is now in an empty backfield, 5 wide. And I don't know if he knows what play he wants to run, buddies.
It looks like
Ron Kerr
we're in a little bit of a prevent.
Kerr's kind of
here.
waving at him and saying, run a play. So Legree's back. He's under a little duress. Flips it out to
Great job of getting out of bounds, Coach.
Yep, number 8, and that is number 6. That was number 6. My bad. Vito Hatchell, wide receiver. He was directing a little traffic there, Legree.
Legree did a great job. He created some space for himself, got his eyes down the field, found the open receiver.
2nd and a short 1 now for the Hitmen. And they'll come out in the same set again.
We're going to have a 4-man rush.
He is back to pass. He's looking right, slings it out. Looks like the same play, but the opposite side. Oh, boy. Bodies flying everywhere out there, and it looks like Jackals hitting one another. So that would have been number 80, and that is Christian Europe, number 80. And
Just a great pitch and catch.
Yeah.
You know, Legree is gonna create space on the field for the receivers. They're gonna run their routes, and a little 7-yard out turns into a 12-yard gain.
All right, so that's going to be our 2-minute warning, and we're going to stay here. Yeah, and we're going to have a Radwell International stocks. Radwell International stocks and sells new and surplus industrial automation, MRO, pneumatic, motion, electronic, hydraulic, HVAC, and electrical control equipment for plant floor and facilities maintenance machinery. They also have full component level repair capabilities for all industrial electronic and electrical equipment. We also buy surplus industrial controls, and you can see their complete line card of brands you will find there at radwell.com, radwel.com. Thank you, Radwell International. And Legree, again, empty backfield now, coming out of the 2-minute warning, 1st and 10 in Jackal territory. He's back. Lots of time. He's dancing kind of to the left. Doesn't like what he sees and kind of floats it out of bounds.
That's a smart play. You know, you're going to, even if you ran the ball and got 2 or 3 yards, it would have taken a lot of time off the clock, and you have to go 45 yards here. Get the ball out of bounds. and don't create a turnover.
And the Hitmen do have 2 capable kickers that can hit a longer field goal. So I don't think he's too concerned about. I know he'd like to get a touchdown out of this before the half, but
I would say with the win, Coach, they want to probably get the ball if they're gonna kick a field goal inside the 20-yard line.
Inside the 20 is the target. All right, so now 2nd down and 10.
2nd down, 10. Ball at the 45 of the Jackals.
Same set, 5 wide, 3 by 2. Legree is back. Legree steps up. Oh, ankle tackle down, and they may use a timeout right there because of that.
Yeah.
So Legree had a little pressure from the defensive left side, his right side, decided to step up, and I don't know if he was actually going to run that or actually throw it, but somebody got him around the ankles, and he went down. I believe that was 00.
That was Henry Taps.
Oh, that was Taps. I'm sorry. 00, Henry Taps. So nice job. And again, Henry is always rushing the passer. So we'll take a break, and we'll be right back to the game. Welcome back, everyone. Here we go. So this is a big 3rd down here now for the Hitmen. They're trying to get into scoring territory here. Maybe time for a field goal. Legree is back. He has time. Little screenplay here to the left side. And he's down. Good tackle.
That was a great time to run a screen, and I had a sneaking suspicion they were going to run it when they put a running back in the backfield.
And there's gonna be a flag down. That was number 42, Marquise Edwards, on that screenplay. He did have 2 linemen out in front of him. It looked like Jawan Pratt, the free safety, was fighting through there to make that tackle. So the Zebras will talk it over here real quick and see what they come up with.
I don't know. It looks like by the way the Jackals are acting on the field, it may be against them.
So it's a personal foul, and it's against the Jackals. And I thought I saw the referee go with his fist to almost. He kind of gave us a half signal. So that might have been a blow to the head, head-to-head contact, helmet-to-helmet contact, we'll call it. And that's going to cost the Jackals a big 15 yards in this situation here.
Well, how does Coach Kerr and Coach take advantage of this field position? Because now you have 1 minute and 26 seconds. And again, clock management is the key here. You want to use as much as that as possible.
So 1 timeout. The Hitmen did use a timeout on this drive. I believe they have 1 left. And they are right just outside of what you talked about as a safe field goal distance because of the wind situation today. So we have 3 wide to the right, and Legree's looking to the right, and he's throwing it back shoulder, and it's on the ground.
Incomplete,
Coach. Awfully close. He had him. So that was number 12, Jordan Hallman. And did we get another penalty?
Looks like we have a penalty now. Little pushing and shoving after the play here. Let's see how the refs sort it out.
And more flags up in the air.
A lot of laundry out there.
All right, so we'll let them deal with all that. Figure out who touched who and who did this. It's like a romper room sometimes when you the teacher having to
it's important that the
children in order.
Players get away from the official. Let them get it right. Because sometimes yelling and screaming at officials.
Outside that safe zone, Coach, that you were talking about for the to try a field goal.
Yeah, I would run the ball here. I know it sounds crazy. With a timeout and a minute 12 left, I'm going to run the ball here. See what because I'm looking at that defensive backfield. I think they're giving you a lot.
Same as the previous set on offense, 3 wide to the right. Legree is back. He's looking right, and that's a little bit shorter. And it's going to be short of the first down, but that is a complete pass to number 17. That's Mark Edwards, the wide receiver. So they're going to hurry up from the line here. Anybody's going to line up. Legree is calling out his play, directing his receivers where he wants them. They gave him the first down, which I thought he was short, so it's going to be first and goal, Coach.
No, they're going to be outside the 10.
So Legree over the middle with a quick one, and that got batted down. Hey, look, he was going for number 7 again, and number 7, Evan Morrell, excuse me, and that was batted down by, looks like it might have been 18, Kevin Ross. I'm not sure. I don't know if I had that number right.
So they do have the ability to get the first down here. It's going to be
23, Talik
second
Chambers.
and 10.
My bad. Okay.
Inside the 1 to get a first down.
You know, you called that, but right before the last play, when they set up first down, and I was going off of what the chain guys were doing. They dropped the down to go or the yards to go line, so I figured it was first and 10. So they can get a first down inside the 1. I'll agree. We'll go back again. Oh, much more pressure now, and it looks like Flag's in the backfield, and he's going to go down, but he gets the ball off. Oh, my gosh, that ball was caught in the end zone, and I don't.
Yeah, that's a shame, too, because that was a great play by Legree and a great concentration by the receiver.
Oh, geez, number 17, Mark Edwards. So the ball was tipped by a Jackal, came down in his hands. They did score. They did signal touchdown, but obviously they're going to get holding on the Hitmen. Legree was under a lot of pressure, and as he broke out to his right, we saw both of those flags come in. So looks like 2 of them got it right. All right, so we have second down. They're going to replay second down, and this looks like it's going to be second and a country mile here. So, Coach, with the distance here, and now we're kind of looking at clock, 32 seconds. If you're in the Hitmen huddle, what do you like on offense?
Well, you can use the entire field. So you have a timeout, so you can use the entire field. The issue here is, are you going to try and score? If you're going to try and score a touchdown, you're going to have to probably do it in 2 plays or less. So you're either going to put it up in the air, get it in the end zone, and try and score on this play, or try and get a chunk of yards. It looks like they're picking the ball up.
Yeah, I think they went a little bit. I think they went a little bit too far. Yeah. Okay, so that was going to be from the spot. So now they finally marked it right. So
from here again, you still have the entire field with a timeout.
All right, so now we're going to go second and 20, and time is of the essence now for the Hitmen. They are dropping back, pressure on Legree. He is under pressure up the middle. He comes back, floats it to the back of the end zone, and that's going to be picked off. That is going to be picked off.
That's the one thing you didn't want to happen. You're going to be giving the Jackals the ball back, probably with a little bit of time. 17 seconds, you're giving the ball back. They're a big play offense, 80 yards to them. What's the difference?
Yeah, and Legree was under pressure, and that was that kind of an ill-advised pass. He threw that into triple coverage back there, and he was just kind of fishing and hoping and praying. So number 32, and that is Malcolm Moore, the linebacker, and he comes down with that. And again, I think Legree was just looking for a prayer on that one. He put it to the back of the end zone, but lots of green jerseys.
His experience level should have thrown that ball away.
Yeah.
You have another down.
You have
2 more downs and enough time to run both plays.
All right, so first and 10 now. The Jackals with 17 seconds left to go, and they're going empty backfield. They're not going to back down at all from anything. Now Bailey comes back into the backfield.
Well, looks like you're going to get a 3-man line from the Hitmen.
So they're going to drop back some extra.
They're in a dime
extra
defense,
coverage.
we call it, where you're bringing the extra D back and just try and get it done with a 3-man rush.
All right, so they go with Bailey right up the middle, and I think they're just trying to run out the clock here. And number 22 on the Hitmen, Tyus Winstead on the stop. And I believe somebody called timeout.
Well,
and I'm not 100% sure why you would just, with 17 seconds left, run the ball and then call timeout, right up the middle. But regardless, we are going to be back in 1 moment. All right, welcome back, everyone. Millersville University, Chris Field, on a bright sunny day. We are coming to the end of the first half. The Jackals have a 2nd down and 8. After running the ball on 1st down, they called their last time out of the day. Trotman is back to pass, and he's throwing it out. Oh, my. Very dangerous pass into double coverage on the outside. That was number 23, it looks like, for Central Penn. Howard Holton, the cornerback.
Listen, he catches
was
that, Coach, it might be 6 the other way. A lot of open green field in front of him.
Almost picked off. All right, so pretty decent first half, Coach. What do you think? 15-14 Hitmen, and, some big plays and then some not big plays. What do you think so far for first half?
As far as the half was great football, good physical, fast football. Started out a little shaky, a lot of mistakes made early, but then they've cleaned it up significantly, both offenses. The big thing here is who makes the best halftime adjustment. That's going to change. That's going to change the outcome of the game here. It's who does the most to stop what the other team is going to do. And it looks to me like if the Hitmen could stop the big plays, they can have a lot of success.
Okay, and we are going to go to our halftime feature, which is going to be the Patillo Company, heavy construction with a plan. Patillo incorporates tight management controls on all their projects, and we'll be able to have a nice little showing of what they do on their daily routine. We'll be
Today, coming to you from New York, Goshen, New York. We're with Patillo Companies. They're out of New Jersey, but we're at one of their big site projects here. We spent the night in Newburgh. We're going to end up today in New York City, so we thought, why not come and see what the heck Patillo's got going. I was out here a few months ago when it was absolutely freezing miserable at another one of their projects in Newburgh. We have a vlog on it if you haven't seen it. This is their newest site development project. It's a smaller project, smaller. So I think, remember how many yards he said? It was like 300.
300, 200 rock.
So about 300,000 yards on this project. 200,000 of it is rock. So you have the 3 drills up there drilling. They're shooting pretty regularly. And then you have a lot of this dirt material that the 395's on right now. Again, it's not just about pushing dirt and moving dirt. You're building a job. So you have to build a building pad and the surrounding infrastructure for whatever commercial building's going here. They have on this site as well, like a lot of commercial sites, they're crushing on site. The product that they need is not too complicated. So they just have a basic jaw crusher with a screen deck to create 2 different products. One of the products is a more coarse rock to form the sub base for the actual building and the roads and whatever infrastructure is going around the building. And then they have a finer material that's the backfill for the retaining walls that they'll be building here in a little bit. They've only been here a few weeks, so this project's still getting a little broken in, but because it's a few 100,000 yards, because they have such big equipment, because they move so quickly, this will be blown out by, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks. They should be wrapping up here, and the building guys can come in and knock it out from there. Patillo, it's an amazing company. They come in, they do their job, they leave. They're really, really proud of what they do because they move fast, they do phenomenal work, they go on to the next one. So they're one of the contractors that admits, hey, we're not going to be the cheapest every time, but we do exactly what we say we're going to do, and we can do it a hell of a lot faster than most other folks out there. So, love visiting these guys. Let's go see what they got going. So it's not always gravy material you're moving. It's not always nice dirt. It's not always clean shot rock. They're shooting this material, but what happens is because it's a combination of dirt and slate and rock, it's just a mess. That energy can't go where it needs to go to properly fracture the rock. So what happens is you get this chunky mix of material that you need to work through as you dig it. So he's doing his best. He's loading real quick once he gets into the dirt, but there's also all these big boulders he has to pick through, cast aside, and then they're taking all those boulders over to a pile where they'll peck through them with the hammer, and then they'll feed them into the crusher to make stone out of them. So it's not extremely productive, but you just have to work with whatever geological conditions you have on the site you're on. So before you can obviously load the rock with explosives, you have to drill. The two different factors that affect how this rock's going to be fractured before explosives come into place is the pattern, spacing, and so that's how far the holes are from one another, and then the actual size of the hole, the diameter of the hole. On a job like this, a commercial job, you're going to be working with a smaller hole, and you can see right behind me, the pattern's pretty tight. It looks like a 10 by 10 pattern or something within that ballpark. So it's nice and tight, and each one of these little piles of drill cuttings is a hole that's eventually going to get loaded with explosives, which is what we're going to go check out next. So now that they've drilled it all out, they're ready to shoot this section of rock. To shoot it, you need 3 ingredients. You need your blasting cap, your really high explosive, you need your booster, your high explosive that sets off the remainder of the energy, and then you need your AMFO, your ammonium nitrate fuel oil. So this is your booster, Eagle 340. So this is about, I don't know, probably about a half pound of high explosives. That goes, this cap right here goes inside of the booster. So you can see this is the blasting cap right here. This is high explosives. Goes into the booster, and you can get footage of them lowering it down into the hole. Then they'll tie it off, and this yellow cord here, this is the det cord. This is what ties all of the holes together. So it all goes to one point, and you can set it off from there. The last part is this right here, and this is the delay. So a good blast is timed out. You don't just set off all the holes at once. There's actually a very, very, very small delay so that the holes will typically go off in rows. And that allows the energy to move through the face, which helps to fracture the rock a lot more effectively. If you didn't do that, you wouldn't be relieving the pressure, so you wouldn't get the fragmentation you're after. You want to relieve the pressure through the face, so you'll probably time it. There's a drop-off right behind us. The holes furthest back are probably going to be the ones to go first, and they'll shoot it that way. So they'll shoot all the way back using these little delays to get the timing just right. And then once the explosive's in the hole, you come in here with your little skid steer and your fine gravel, and you'll shovel it into the hole to stem it. So you'll put the rock all the way back up, fill the entire hole with rock, so that the energy stays within the rock when the explosive goes off. So once the booster and everything is in the hole, he'll come in here with that tape and weight, and he'll be measuring how much ANFO they're putting into the hole. And so they'll be working off of a depth to give them, they'll do the math, and based on the depth, the hole size, they can determine how much ANFO is in that hole. So each hole will be filled with the same amount of ANFO in theory, and then once he's determined he's at depth, okay, we're good, the guys come in here with the stemming rock and fill it all the way up to grade. So ammonium nitrate fuel oil, all it basically is fertilizer, ammonium nitrate, and diesel fuel mixed together. It's called Purell is kind of a nickname for it, and that's the primary explosive that's what does the work to really fracture the rock. So these smaller explosives, the boosters, the caps, that's all really dedicated just to set off the primary explosive.
And welcome back, everybody, for second half action of the Den MLF football contest between the Central Penn Hitmen and the Jersey Jackals here at Christ Field at wonderful Millersville University. Excellent facility out here today.
Beautiful weather too, Coach. I mean, it's nice out here. There's no complaints from me anyway.
Nice, and it's a nice balmy 67, 68 degrees in the box up here today. So it's a little windy and breezy for the folks on the field, but that's their problem, not ours. So here we go with the second half, and the Hitmen did kick off in the first half. They won the toss, elected to receive the second half kickoff.
I think they were a little delayed here because the chain guy's probably at the snack stand.
I would say that they're probably wolfing down hot dogs and didn't realize that it was only a 20-minute halftime. Or 12-minute halftime, I apologize.
Well, they got 2 out of the 3. I'm sure they can come up with another one.
But the refs do have to wait for them. And there's our third. Looks like our third guy is working his way over. And if they don't get a third guy pretty soon, Dr. Phil will be more than happy to assign somebody for that task instead of delaying the game. So if you're,
it looks like the guys crossing the field now, so we should be getting started here in a second.
So if you're the Central Penn Hitmen, you, I don't know that you can be overly pleased that Jackal is holding the but there he comes now.
Speaking of the Hitmen, Coach, what do you think as far as halftime adjustments go? What do you think they do to offset the big play capability of this Jackals team?
Well, I think that they may need to dial up a little more pressure. I know that I'm a pressure guy. I like getting after the quarterback. So I don't know if that'll work. But what you talked about as far as making some adjustments of where their D-backs are standing on the field, they had better figure that out. So they're going to take a line drive punt up off the 25-yard, 25, 30-yard line, and a quick return right up the middle of the field, and we're going to grab a number for you when we can. But that was a very good return because he took it close to the 50-yard line by the Hitman, number 81, and that would have been, Jair Nixon. So they the Jackals decided to hit a line drive kickoff there on that.
Yeah, well, the faster the ball gets down the field, the bigger the returns tend to be. That's why you want to get a little hang time on those. But I guess he was trying to cut the wind, so maybe it could be, a little of that too. So
out kicking his coverage. That's how they that's how we kind of say it. But anyway, the Hitmen will come out 1st and 10 right at midfield on the stripe. And we'll see. They did get the running game going a little bit better in the first half, the Hitmen. So we'll see what Legree likes to pull up on this now. And they're going to go with Legree's going to call his own number. He faked the handoff and right up the gut.
Listen, that's a lot of man to tackle. So what I'm saying is, if you're a 130-pound safety or corner, you may not want to be introduced to him in the open field. And
2 points from the first half we brought up was that you mentioned Legree on that when he ran that play previously in the first half and had a nice gain and kind of leveled somebody going out of bounds. I also mentioned about how when you look at the defensive backs and the safeties, whatnot, corners, linebackers of the Jackals, they're very undersized. So he gets to second level. That's a lot. Now he's going to hand off and give to number 34, James Rousseau. And Rousseau was he had a great game last week and was an integral part of the offense running the ball.
Yeah, they've used a few different running backs today, Coach. I don't know what their typical rotation is, but it seemed like the hot hand early was was number 13, Cody Lamoureux.
We've seen a lot of teams do that this year so far. This is my second week of den action, and the teams. It seems like it's running back by committee on a lot of these teams.
Yeah, because we also did see Raheem Ridley.
Correct. Number 7 on the Hitmen goes in motion, Evan Morrell, and they're going to come right back up the middle to Rousseau, and he's got a lot of running room, and he is still pounding away. Going to be enough for the first down and a few extras.
You know, that's a good, hard run. Excellent job by the offensive line. You know, they were little road graders there and create some space for these guys to get scooting.
I'm thinking somebody got a hold of the offensive line and got a little piece of their rear end at halftime and kind of said, hey, you got the size and you have the ability. Now let's get it done up front.
And you know, as a long-time offensive line coach, sometimes the best coach is already on the field. Yep. They know how to make those adjustments. You have experienced offensive linemen, just to see how we can make these plays work better for us.
So with the 1st and 10 for the Hitmen, we have motion again to the left. And again, right back to the eye, but Legree was going to call his number, and that got shut down. It's actually a smart move there that he did.
Coach, you're going to have an illegal man downfield, and that's on the quarterback.
You're right. Yep. Well, so yeah, go ahead. So that was designed. That was designed.
It was designed run. So your offensive line's upfield, just plowing people down, and what happens is you throw that ball, you make them look like the idiots.
Yeah, and that's not fair to them.
No.
So Legree again. Previous plays, he did pull on that option and called his own number and had a lot of business on the outside there. He had nowhere to go. So he pulled it, came back around the right side. That wasn't going to work. And what turned out initially to be a smart play by throwing it out of bounds kind of backfired.
Yeah, well, the issue is when you're going to read somebody, it's very easy to read one guy. It's very difficult to read two. So the way you beat those zone reads is with pressure. And bringing pressure up the middle there created an issue where he was looking at one guy and not realizing that there was a free man coming.
So the Jackals decided to decline the penalty and make it 2nd down. And it looks like it's going to be 2nd and 10. And it looks like a 2 tight end set. And again, 7, Evan Morrell is in motion. And it's going to be a quick pitch out to the gentleman we just talked about before, number 13, and that's
Lamoureux,
Cody Lamoureux again.
Listen, that's a great play call. You get a lot of guys in the box, you motion, you get an extra blocker to the front side, and you run toss. That's a great play.
And he got some black jerseys out in front of him on that one, and that brought that ball all the way down to the 10-yard line, and that's going to be right on the 10-yard line stripe. So that brings up 1st and goal. So far, it looks like the Hitmen have made their adjustment what they want to do in the second half. We haven't seen anything on the Jackals yet.
Yeah, I think running the ball, very smart move here.
And Legree's under center, I formation, and they're going to just pound it up inside there. And the Jackals, much better job this time. So, yeah, it looked like double tight end, Coach Pat?
It looked, I believe they were in what we would call 12 personnel. Single back, 2 tight ends.
And they tried to smash it up inside there, just got back to the line of scrimmage. So the Jackals tightened up a little bit inside there. So now we're going to go to 2nd and goal. And Lamoureux is going to, looks like, no, I'm sorry, Jordan Hallman, who's coming out. He's coming out of the game. He was lined up inside.
So now you have what we would call 20 personnel, Coach. It's 2 backs, no tight ends.
3 wide, 2 backs. Legree's checking things out, letting his linemen make their calls first. And he's looking left all the way, and he's under pressure, and he's just floating that out of bounds. Very close to being intentional grounding there, but I'm assuming that he got out of the tackle box.
It wasn't even that. I think he was wrapped up, and and it didn't reach the line of scrimmage, Coach. So I don't know if they were going to say he was engaged with a defender, which caused the ball to be, poorly thrown.
And his eyes were going all the way on that single receiver on the left set. His eyes were all the way left the whole way. But I don't think he broke clean enough to make it comfortable for him. So it's going to cost them down. So it's 3rd down and goal from the 10 still. So we've had 2 plays and we've had 0 yardage.
I think Coach Kerr is confident with his field goal kicker from this distance. So I think they could probably take a shot and then take the points.
And Legree will drop back, looking right, tucks, looking left, tossing it in the back of the end zone. Oh, in the hands of the receiver. Double coverage. But
ball was catchable, Coach.
Yeah,
that should have been.
Absolutely. He hit. That was number 7 again. Guy's been going in motion pretty regularly now, Evan Morrell, and he had him streaking across the back end there.
So we're going to field goal kicker. Looks like they're going to keep the quarterback on the field.
And that goal, I do notice. I don't know if that's the goalpost on our end here. That they're a little bit tilted to the right when you kind of look at it. Just exactly the way that the Hitmen are going. So, all right. So a little bit of confusion in the backfield here. Legree is he's kind of it's going to be. He's got to hurry up here. He's going to get a delay.
You have 2 outside the ball to the far side of the field.
He moves the back over.
He finally rolls
Marquise
back up.
Edwards. And Edwards is out of the backfield on the right. Legree's looking right. He tucks it down. He's got pressure. He's out of the pressure, looking, throwing over the middle. It's going to be picked off, and he's going to take that out of the end zone. And I believe that is number 20, and that's going to be Juwan Pratt, free safety. So the Hitmen end up coming up with no points and got no chance for a field goal there.
Well, listen, Coach, you have the ball 2 times, your last 2 drives at the 10-yard line. You come away with 0 points.
Yeah, not good efficiency in the red zone for the Hitmen last week. And good point by Howard. Actually woke up from his halftime nap, and he actually just brought up a very good point for us, and that we also had that the Hitmen also last week had a lot of the same traits. They got into the red zone numerous times and had numerous, as I was doing the game, there just a lot of chances, and they just couldn't get it done. They didn't score anything. Well,
offensively, it gets tougher to coach the closer you get to that goal line.
So the Jackals now come out on a 5-wide empty backfield, 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Trauman's going a quick out. And we've kind of seen that play. That's about the 3rd time we've seen that play today, where he's going on that quick out. And
the hitches and that was a stand pass or wide receiver screen to the one-man side versus trips is a tough play because somebody's going to be defending that flat. If you're going to run a screen, you want to go where you have blockers, and that would be to that 3-man side. I don't know if that was by design or if that was called at the line of scrimmage, but on that side, that's where you run the slants and the hitches.
Yeah, and that's going to lose at least 2 yards. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 12 for the Jackals. They will have a back now. And he's going to hand off inside, and a lot of traffic in the backfield by the Hitmen. No blocking up front at all.
This Hitmen D-line is very, very good. They're very physical. And they're making plays. And they're rotating. You have a lot of guys coming in and out. They're staying fresh. They're keeping those guys
That's a good point.
Off the field as much as they can, especially on long drives.
Yeah, they get to 3rd down, and you can see 2 off, 2 on, and they're actually pretty quick too, Coach.
Oh, yeah. And that gives the big men an opportunity to maybe get some fluids in them. It is a cooler day, but you could dehydrate pretty quick out here as a big man.
So it looks like their Hitmen go with a 3-man front, odd front and empty backfield here for Trauman, and he is back, looking right immediately. Oh, that is a dangerous pass.
I'm going to be honest with you. That, to me, that gets caught. Either way, it may have gone for a touchdown.
Yeah, right.
Because
you're right.
The defensive guy played the football. He misses. If the offensive guy catches that ball, there was nobody but the referee in front of him.
And I believe that was number 23, Holton Howard, out there on the outside, the cornerback. And
Hubbard was the receiver.
Hubbard was the receiver. We've called Holton's name a number of times today. He's made some big tackles and pretty solid coverage.
So here's where practice is going to come into play here. You're running punt, and you have your punt team on the field. You have a lot of confusion, and it looks like they're going to, if they don't hurry up, they're going to run out of time. And they're not in a position where you want to be 5 yards further back.
So they had 12 out there now, the Jackals. And
yeah, you might as well put 13 out there.
And it looks like the Central Penn has double coverage on both of their wideouts. Keep those Flyers from getting down the field here.
Well, you want to set up a return.
And they're going to get him for a motion call. Thought that might have been false start. I thought that might have been maybe too much time, but somebody was moving inside, so it's going to put him back even
Well, it
further.
looks like the time's being kept by the back judge, and he's probably a little generous on that. My internal clock had them probably about 48 seconds.
At least. So what now plays out, and I think they're going to, so they're going to talk this over. The Central Penn has two punt returners back. They're going to be somewhere just outside the 40-yard line here. So no matter what happens with the punt, I would anticipate that the Hitmen are going to have really good field position here.
Yeah, field position is going to be the key. Even though they haven't taken advantage of it, they get down by the goal line again. They've got to take advantage and put some points on the board.
All right, so this I'm not 100% sure. They did signal movement. And now I'm assuming somebody went off sides because they gave the Hitmen five. They changed the signal. So the snap is off. A lefty kicker, and he's going to get that away just over the 50-yard line. And that's number 6. He's still on his feet and got 10 extra yards out of nothing right there. That was number 6, Vito Hatchell, the punt returner. He got that punt off pretty well, got that to land outside the 50-yard line, and Hatchell saved about 10 yards on his own.
I'll be honest with you. I think he was down at the 50-yard line.
Oh,
I think he was touched on his way down to the ground.
Yeah.
Again, you only have the eyes of the officials out there. I'm not an official. I'm just a guy up here that likes to talk.
Yep, no, so that did, I thought the same, and I was waiting for a whistle to come when I saw it. Somebody did touch him when he was kind of starting his move to the inside. So regardless, that'll be now the Hitmen will start with very good field position inside the 40-yard line of the Jackals, and we're looking at 7:29 left in the third quarter. Both teams have kind of come out sparring, and there's been no haymakers thrown yet, really. So Vito Hatchell's going to come in motion right, go back left, and they're going to go right back up the middle. And that's good positive yardage.
And I really think that's where the Hitmen have to finish this game. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
Yeah, so that was Ridley on that run. And, I mean, we've seen this on a number of plays by the Hitmen. The only thing we haven't seen is them sticking with it. And I don't know if that's because of Legree. Maybe they call a run and he changes it. I'm not sure, or he doesn't like the call or whatnot. But
most quarterbacks aren't given that leeway in the red zone. They shouldn't be. But again, that's up between their coaching staff and their quarterback.
So now single back and kind of a fluttering snap there by the center, and that was a little bit late developing. Still got a yard or two. Legree hands off to the inside there, but the snap was a little bit slow coming back. It kind of fluttered a little bit, so I think I threw the timing off.
Well, you have a big personnel change here. I don't know if they're going to go to a bigger set, but you have 3rd and 3. It's 4-down territory, or at least it has been so far in the entire game. So your whole playbook is open here.
Number 42, Marquise Edwards for the Hitmen, is in the backfield. Tight end is on the right. And they're going to go right back up the middle, and he's going to get the first down. So that's Edwards there for the first down.
That's a great little cutback, great run. you know, it gets lost in a lot of minor league football. Running the ball is so important, and I think that a lot of teams get away from it. They you know, they want to fill the seats, I guess, and throwing the ball is sexy. But at the end of the day, there's nothing better than running the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Yeah, so Legree may have made that call post-snap, you know, with the ball in his hands of what, you know, a lot of RPOs. You know, that seems to be
that's super popular nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody copycatting it off everybody else. So with the 1st and 10, Hitmen now come out. A couple of his linemen on the left side are calling some signs out, and he's going to call his own number, and he gets stopped in the backfield. Number 6, Joe Davis, who is playing defensive end, kind of an undersized defensive end, but very quick, and came right down the line. And I think, Coach, that may have been, he's calling his own number. That might have been, we're not going to block the last guy on the line of scrimmage away from the play, but that didn't quite cut it.
But at the same time, yes, you don't have to block him, but you cannot stop your feet. You have to keep your feet moving.
Yep.
And that's the difference between a quarterback and maybe a running back. Running back's going to keep those feet moving. I'm not saying Legree's not a good runner, but if you're not blocking guys, you can't stop your feet.
Yeah, but he is like he's probably just a step above a lineman running sometime because he is a big guy. They have him listed at 265 pounds, and that's pretty generous. He might even be heavier than that, but he's a big man. So, all right. So Edwards again, number 42, still in the backfield on this series. He's got most of the work done. Again, tight end right. And Legree comes right back to Edwards, running hard up the middle, and I think they're going to call him down.
Yeah, he was down, Coach. The ball did come out, but he was definitely down.
Yeah, he was leaning forward to get some extra love from the side official, but
there are some fans here that disagree with the call.
Well, unfortunately, they're not making the call, which is good. So 3rd down and 2, and we are down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, so here, 3rd and 2, I think I'm going to keep the ball. Again, 4-down territory. I'm going to get this 1st down, and I'm going to do it with my running back, either this play or the next.
Why would you do anything else is beyond me, but believe me, I've said that many times before a play and went, what? So, again, so far the last 3 or 4 plays have been exactly the same set. And they've come right back to it. And that looked like the ball popped out. The ball's out on the ground. Edwards, it looked like the ball popped out. It came back to him, and then it came out again.
Yeah, see, I have a rule as a coach. If you fumble, even if you were down, you're coming out of the game because you dropped that ball, and that can affect you psychologically. So
yeah, so they went to Edwards, went to the well. It looks like one too many times, and it would have been close for him to get that 1st down anyway because there was some penetration there. So with that said, number 3,
I think that was
from
McNair,
Jameer McNair, the safety, and he was the one to recover the ball after it bounced a little bit. So we have seen our fair share of turnovers today.
Yeah,
so it's
like
not been a clean game.
Turnovers are, the scourge of minor league football. I mean, it's just, you win the turnover battle, you're going to win the game.
All right, so Jackals 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. And Trotman will be back to base. He's looking for the back out of the backfield. That's number 5, and he's going to get some yardage up to Ricardo Patterson, who actually is listed as a wide receiver, did line up in the backfield. Hit him on a quick strike out to the right-hand side for 5.
That's a good job of checking down. I mean, he may have had his mind made up a little earlier, but that was a great job of checking down to that open receiver.
So the Jackals, yeah.
The Jackals?
He wanted to get me a 3rd time, but it's not going to happen. So anyway, 2nd down and 5.
You got Robinson down the bottom of the screen here.
And he's looking left, looking right, and he was trying to go on that slant again to Bailey. This time Bailey's lined up wide right, and he tried to hit him on a slant there.
Yeah, but again, the feet aren't set. I mean, the feet are the most important thing on the throw, and he's a good quarterback.
So you've mentioned it a couple times today, Coach, about his feet, and we've seen that. What is that? That's a practice issue, or that's a quarterback coach issue?
It's the coaches. It's really the quarterback's coach job is to fix the mechanics. I don't know if they have a quarterback coach on the sideline, but if I could see it, I'm sure one of those coaches from that sideline could see it.
Yeah, because his throws have, although he throws a nice tight spiral, they've had the tendency to be a little off target or a little low. So 3rd down and 5 now, and Trotman will take a opposite roll out, and that's a dangerous pass out to the flat. And I think he may have just gotten the first down by a reach.
That's a great job stretching that out. And again, he set his feet on that throw, and you saw the throw was on target, and it was with velocity.
Yeah, so he came out of the snap with like a reverse pivot, looked to the right, and his receiver did an excellent job with that, catching that and reaching for the first down. So that'll give the Jackals a 1st and 10 from the, looks like the 36-yard line. And that was number 81, Maurice Hubbard.
Oh, Hubbard.
We've called Hubbard's name numerous times today. He's had a good game. And this has been a similar set for the Jackals all day, 2-by-2, 1 back. And Troutman will look left, and he's looking on a deep out, and that's a little bit too far. So they did it. That looked like a deep. And again, we've called number 20's name on the Hitmen today, Devontae Haynes. That they kind of had that covered high and low there, huh?
Yeah. Again, it's either the plays underneath, which are 4 or 5 yards turning into 10 yards, or those balls over the top that have been a success of the Jackals offense today. Running the ball, again, I don't think they put enough. They're down 1 score, and it just seems like they're playing like they're down 3.
Barry Green was the intended receiver for the Jackals, and again he was running that deep out, and that's a tough route to complete.
Yeah, he had a lot of pressure in his face, and you have to drop that in like you're shooting a 3-pointer.
Okay, so 2nd and 10. Jackals come out in their standard set for today, and looks like he's going to hand off inside, and he just dives forward for a couple yards. That's going to be number 85, I believe it was, and that was Khalil Pierce.
Well,
and that's his first one, if that's the right number, 85. So the Pierce is actually listed as a linebacker on our roster. But who knows? So he gets his first call for the day. He does get
coach is trying to make something happen. So he's trying to make something happen, and maybe this is the guy that gets it done.
And 3rd down and 8. Trotman is back, looking over the middle. He's going deep, and that's going to be picked off. Intercepted by number 35, I want to say. 36, number 36, and that is not on our roster. How about that? So I apologize to the young man.
I'm pretty sure he has a name, Coach. We'll try and get it. But
and that was it looked like he was just kind of playing center field, right?
Yeah, I mean they're sitting back. He's doing his job. They're playing zone defense, and they kept everything in front of them, so they're getting depth, and they're not waiting for stress before they make their turn, and pressure helped a lot.
All right, let's have a look at. Are we going to replay the? We're not going to replay the pickoff, but yeah. So we do have. That is the end of the quarter. So out of 3 quarters, give me a quick snippet from both sidelines. What you're telling your guys now for the 4th quarter to bring it home.
So to me, the ability of the Hitmen to do a little better. Oh, that was Tariq Smith on the interception.
Tariq Smith, number 36. So we did get his number, the young man.
So anyway, we as far as what I've seen so far, I think that the Hitmen have done a great job establishing the run in the second half. Now they're doing they're moving the football. They're just struggling as they get closer to the inside the red zone, especially near the goal line.
Okay, so 1st and 10. We have switched sides. The Hitmen are now going from the right to the left. and they do have the wind at their back. What wind is out there? Legree is going to fake the handoff and kind of just whip that out of bounds. I don't know if he was going.
I think he was throwing that away, Coach. I mean, that landed 8 yards out of bounds. Smart move by him. He would have ended up taking a sack there. It would have been tough for him to turn around and get anything.
Yeah. Again, so one thing I don't know. So you also notice it, Coach, that the Jackals have not really dialed up much pressure today as far as other than their down linemen. They are getting pressure on Legree consistently. One Henry Taps we know that he's good at that, but we really haven't seen anything come off the edge, up the middle, anything extra.
And even when they did, it was on, the couple times they did blitz, they weren't rundowns, and they were successful blitzes. They were for negative plays.
Okay, so Legree is going to hand off inside to number 34, James Rousseau. James Rousseau again. And he's going to get about 3 yards on that.
But, Coach, I think they're going to be going backwards here because number 71 looks like he had a
handful of jersey?
Yeah, a handful of jersey.
All right, so that's going to cost them.
It's going to be against the Hitmen.
So that'll make it 2nd and 20.
Second down, 20.
So back to the interception. That was Tariq Smith. He, I believe he was a transfer player. I believe he was on the Soldiers last week. So he was a transfer portal.
If it's the same Tariq Smith, it's very interesting because again he was a quarterback for a couple Philly teams and he played for the Knights last year.
Yeah, he was our free safety.
He was our free safety last year, and it's interesting now that we called his name and he's not on this roster. So we'll have to have a check on that down the road a little bit there and see what's going on. But regardless, anyway, this is 2nd down and after the hold, 2nd down and 20. So Legree's looking left, down the middle now. Somebody's running free, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Hitmen.
That was an excellent job. Excellent job. That's number 80. That's Europe again. Great catch. He ran a slant. He saw that he was under a little bit of pressure. He used the referee as a little pick, and he makes the catch and gains 26 yards and a 1st down.
All right, so 1st down for the Hitmen. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Christian Europe. I know David Legree is, and I believe Christian Europe from games that I've done in the previous past.
New York Rebels?
From the New York Rebels, former teammates on the New York Rebels. So there's a little connection with them there. So pressure again on Legree. He flips it out to number 1, and that is Thomas Davis, wide receiver. He's going to be – that's a quick I guess maybe a quick 5-yard out.
Yeah, excellent. Good play call, good decision by the quarterback. Get the ball out quickly. Get the ball out quickly. Get the ball to an area of the field where your receiver is the only guy that can catch the ball.
And, Coach, one thing I'm noticing, and I don't know that you it looks like the Jackals on both of their edge rushers are coming way up the field, almost running past the quarterback. And I think that's something that Legree doesn't mind because he's able to step up then.
Well, I've always coached it as get to the heels of the offensive line and bend to the ball. But, again, I don't coach for either of these teams.
Yeah,
it looks like we got a flag.
And they to me again they look like they're running straight up the field, and I know that without pressure in the middle there, Legree could pick you apart. So they did get somebody moving. I think it was actually the wing official that threw it. I believe it was one of the receivers. So 5 yards comes back from after that run. So it'll be now 2nd and 10 for the Hitmen, and they are on to the 45, just into Jackal territory.
Yeah, penalties can kill drives, even the little ones.
Looks like Rousseau is lined up in the backfield.
To me, he's been the hot hand, at least in the second half.
And Legree will be back, and he's in the middle, looking over the middle, and he's got his man just past the 1st down marker, and that is, I believe, number 6, and that is Vito Hatchell. And Vito has been active today down the field, and I think his pattern was the first down marker, right?
Yeah, well, you're gonna, the coach is gonna tell you, run your hitch to the sticks. Did a great
to the
job.
sticks.
He's I speaking to him before the game. He's a smaller guy. He reminds me a lot of a player I used to coach, Martin Brown.
Yes.
Great ball skills. He's very fast, and when he gets the ball in his hands, he can make a lot of things happen.
That is correct. So we haven't seen anything change much from the Jackals on either one of the drives or the few drives in the second half that the Hitmen have had. They're the standard even four-man front. They have not blitzed. They have not sent any additional pressure so far, but they still have held the Hitmen out of the end zone. So there's a little flip out to the flat again. I think that looked like he was trying to get him on a little quick
little
screen.
Wide receiver screen. That was a great play call, blocked perfectly, but you have to finish and you have to execute. And the catch is just as important as the throw and the block there.
Yeah, so that was a little, and I think I want to say that before my eyes deceive me, that the snap might have been just a little fluttery coming back. So Legree gets that and kind of looks out quick. And again, he's got a strong arm, but they didn't connect. So that's going to bring up second down and 10. They're just a Hitmen are just over the 35-yard line. Legree calling his signals, and he is handing off to Rousseau, and he's going to the right, and he's bouncing to the outside. And Rousseau's name is so difficult to pronounce by the spelling.
Well, they were very generous with forward progress there. Looks like they are going to give him probably a little extra forward progress, in my opinion, but again, a pickup of 3 there.
That's those French Creole Haitian last names. I guarantee you he's got Haitian descent there from his, who knows, but there you go. Our public address announcer today is quoting hockey names, so we're not even going to bring that up. What's hockey? All right, here we go. So third down and 7, and I think Legree is changing the play. Now he's going to take Rousseau and push him out into the flat now.
He sees something he likes here, Coach.
He does. Straight back, looking left, going to step up, lots of room, and another little pitch and catch over the middle to number 80. And that's going to be Christian Europe. And Christian looked like he took a helmet to the hip there or something, right in his small of his back. So he's coming up a little ginger there. And
it may have, he caught the ball, he's on the ground, tries to get up, and he took. And
I'm wondering if they, I'm wondering there's a flag down, and I'm wondering if they're going to get the Jackals on a helmet or spear. Yeah, and there you go.
Looks like.
Yeah, so he led with the helmet, and I thought that the Jackal defender kind of went down and took a shot at him.
As much as that rule is to protect the ball carrier, it's also to protect the tackler. Because listen, I've coached high school football a long time, and I've seen some pretty gruesome injuries. And you never want to see a head or neck injury.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the defensive guys do not see it that way, although they should, and they should be coached up that way, that it's more for their protection than anything else. So that's going to be they're going to tack on 15 here. So that's going to put the Hitmen to first and goal. 9 minutes and 30 seconds, and the clock is rolling now.
Yes.
This is the third time or fourth time now. So here they go back out to the flat, and they are going to punch this. Oh, are we going to get in? And they're going to get in. Yep. Thomas Davis, wide receiver. Just again, Coach, you called this all the way down. Just a little pitch and catch with his wideouts the whole way down the field.
Well, if you look at formation-wise, defense has, the single high safety, 3 over 3. They're blocking the right guys, getting the ball in space. Davis took advantage of it, took it up the sideline, and punched it in. That's a great job.
Yep, very quick receiver once he gets his hands on the ball, and we already know about Legree. He comes out of his hands very fast, quicker than the way I'm saying it right now. But so they're going to go for the extra point, and again, similar to earlier, Ian Eulish is up, and he's listed as a punter, but he's going to do the longer extra point try here.
Well, his last kick, even though it was a little shorter in distance, was pretty long. Would have made it by a mile.
And that's going to be offsides, and he drove that, and he just got that one through, so that's good. And I think they're going to keep it because it's going to be offsides on the Jackals, unless they blew it dead beforehand. No, because they're going to give them the option to.
So you go now. Now it's a 2-score game. 2 scores meaning a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
All right, so Coach, tell me what the Douglas Explosives replay. Again, little toss out to the not quite the play we were looking for.
So here we go, Coach. You see the lined up out here in trips. You have 3 over 3, which means you have all 3 receivers are covered up, but one of them's in the end zone. So that's when you take advantage of numbers. So you run a little bubble screen. He's going to catch it. Everybody's blocked up, and that third guy can't get there. It's almost impossible.
Yep, and having that and that also pulls in some of the defenders when he goes for that fake. In the backfield.
And believe it or not, Coach, that's set up by their ability to run the football and bringing that extra man down in the box, and they were just playing 3 over 3.
Super good point, and we are at 22-14 now. So the Hitmen take a lead of 8 points, and they will be kicking off. Schrader will be doing the kicking from the 35-yard line. And he drills the ball down the field. A little nub kind of down the 35-yard line. Fumbled, not found, picked up by a different return man. And he's going to bring it back all the way to the 37-yard line. It looked like number 5, Ricardo Patterson. He kind of tried. Well, number 5 originally was the one that
could have been a disaster, Coach.
Yeah,
he could have been a disaster. Short hop. He lost sight of the ball. The ball's behind him. Luckily, somebody had the awareness
9,
to pick
Thompson.
that ball up. That was Thompson.
Yep.
And he gets, gets about 11 yards out of that. And field position here is going to be key. Now they have to drive down the field, put some points on the board, convert the extra point, and get that offense, get the Hitmen's offense off the field.
And to your point from the first half, the Jackals seem to like the big play more than the long drawn-out drive. So I don't think they're concerned with the time clock, but I don't think that the Central Penn has let that up so far now. So they're going to let them a little too much. That was going to be for number 85.
So number 5 was behind again, I don't know if he had his eyes up the field or if he just checked down too quickly, but number 5 would have been wide open down the sideline.
You're right. Yep. So 85, our converted linebacker to wide receiver, or running back actually out of the backfield, Pierce, is off to the right, and Troutman just kind of let him a little bit too much. So second down now for the Jackals. They're going to again from the 37-yard line. And it's going to be a handoff inside, and Pierce is just going to roll over to about the 40-yard line. Something, Coach, that haven't seen yet today, other than when they were sort of the end of the second half, we saw this. But it looks like the Hitmen are in a 3-man front now.
Yeah, I think they went to like a 30 stack. Maybe they're in cover 9, which is 3 over 4. So you have 3 deep, 4 under, and you set, or 3 deep and 4 across. Not so much giving up the flats here, or sitting flat with the corners.
All right, third down. Troutman's over the middle, and that's going over the middle, and there it was. So just exactly what you what you explained was that the 5 defenders or 4 defenders right at the 50-yard line, and you could literally see them in a static line right across the length of the field there, covering that under and that short game there. And number 5, Dante Bryant, basically, and you can see him, Coach, here, like exactly what you called.
What they're doing here is they're saying, hey, we're going to run a 30 stack. We're going to squat the corners, and you're going to have to run the ball. We're going to give you a little. We'll let you bend. We're not going to bend, but we're not going to break.
So now Central Penn again with that 3-man front, and they're going to be, oh, I'm sorry, there's going to be punt formation.
Yeah, it would
I
be
just
smarter
realized
than
that
to punt here and let their defense make a play.
And there are 2 receivers back for Central Penn. Oh, there's going to be a fake, and he's going to be short. No, they're going to mark that way short. Somebody came up and made an excellent saving play, and he just basically kind of dove over the top of him. But what do you think of the call, Coach?
Well, I don't think it's a bad call. I think if he presses the boundary, he's probably still running.
Right.
He cut that back in. He only had to make one man miss on the outside. Again, he made his decision on the field, and he fell a little bit short.
So you're looking for him to run to the pin or run to the down marker.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to run a fake punt, you tell your punter, quarterback, whoever's back there to run to the pylon.
And let's watch it on the Douglas Explosive replay here. And this was definitely designed. What's interesting, too, is his protector, the guy, is over on the right side away from where they ran. Yeah, and they draw the end guy inside, and yeah, he does cut it inside.
He had the boundary, and
yeah.
I don't, again, it's tough. You're asking, so that's something you practice. Get to the pylon, get to the down marker.
So now the Hitmen set up in good position here on almost the 45-yard line, and they're going to run that ball, and that looks like James Rousseau. And he's going to pick up some good yardage
now,
if I'm the 40-yard line.
If I'm the Hitman, I don't care if it's 4th and 40, I'm going to run the ball. I want to get as much time off this clock before I give them the ball back.
And speak of the clock, 7:42 and rolling. So that becomes and down in the bottom right-hand side of your screen there for those viewing at home or on their phone or on their tablet or on their laptop or on their beautiful smart TV, which is even better to watch the game on.
Especially when they have us on the screen, Art.
Outstanding.
4K.
So, 2nd down and 4. And again, a slow snap, and Legree kind of flips it out there. And
dangerous play.
Yeah,
I don't know what Coach Laubach's thinking, but I'm thinking run the ball. Let's get this game over.
Exactly. Vito Hatchell on the reception there, and that was a similar play. And I guess that's designed, and whoever's the end rush on that, they're designed to kind of let him rush off that edge there, I guess, because he's in the face of what do you call it? I'm about to kick Howard in a moment here if he keeps it up. But so anyway, here we go with 3rd down and 7, and it looks like a bunch left set. Legree is calling out signals, and it looks like the Jackals have brought some players up on the line here to put a little pressure.
Well, you have trips here. You have to match their front. So if you're going to have 3 outside the ball on offense, on defense, you have to match them.
And they're going to call timeout. Yeah. So Legree had a couple options there, but he went ahead and decided to keep that. So let's talk about Jernigan's, the Environmental Services Incorporated, my favorite one. As a family-owned and operated business since 1984, owners Troy and Riker Jernigan take pride in providing quality services for their customers. Jernigan's Environmental Services takes pride in our local community and supports our various sports, scholarships, and community foundations. We are licensed and insured to serve you in Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia. Don't forget, Coach, they are certified in lots of different fusions, including butt fusion, my favorite. Anyway, here we go.
That was your favorite, Coach.
Yes. So we're going to go with a 3rd down and 7. Now they're going to spread this up. They're going to spread this out a little bit. Yeah, we're going to spread this out a little bit more here now. Legree will go ahead and have one back.
Well, you have your free safeties at 26 yards off the line of scrimmage. That's deeper than most punt formations.
And Legree is going to the right short, number 42, out of the backfield, and that is Marquise Edwards. And Edwards pretty much had one man to beat, got very close to the 1st down. They're going to mark him a little bit short.
But more important than the first down is keeping that clock running. We're at 5:45 and running.
Smart play. Stayed in bounds.
Stayed in bounds, and now 4th and 1. It's not a terrible spot to be in, and the play really doesn't matter. Yeah, I would use the old QB sneak here, especially if I had a 6'5".
You know, Coach, one thing about Legree is that he is one of those quarterbacks that he's a very big man. He does not like to get low and duck down and kind of hide behind a guard. He likes to be tall and proud and kind of run it that way. But so he's in the gun, so he's not going to, unless he calls his own number from back here, and he did. And he's going to get that first down just over into the 34, 33-yard line.
Now, the right tackle on that play did an excellent job of setting the edge. He had a great push. He had his man on the ground 4 yards up the field.
Yeah, I believe
what makes it easy on your runner.
I want to say, is that 77, Kaleem Gentry?
I believe so.
Yeah, those guys up front they've been having a good game up front today blocking, and they've had their moments because we have believe me, we have seen some pressure by the Jackals. And again, we talked about it where they really haven't blitzed or haven't sent anything exotic anywhere, corner blitz, say they've no backers. They've pretty much just had a 3 or 4 man front, and they've still gotten pressure today. So now with another first down, new set of downs, and Legree's in no hurry, and they're going to run that ball right up the middle, and I believe that's going to be Edwards again, Marquise Edwards.
I mean, you're running a risk here. You got to protect the football, and I would put my surest-handed guys out there. Not that familiar with Edwards, but I believe he did have a fumble earlier in the game, and you'd hate to see something come back to bite him here. Like I said, coaches are very, very creatures of habit.
He did. You called the shot, too, because he had that one where he was leaning for extra yardage, fumbled. They called him down, came right back with him the second play after that, and he put it on the turf. So 2nd down and about 8. And Legree is going to fake the handoff. He's going to toss it out to his back and the outside, and that's not going anywhere. That's going to lose a couple yards.
Yeah, that's
and that was
tough.
Europe again.
That's tough. If you're gonna put the ball in the air, there's a risk of it being intercepted. There's a risk of it being incomplete and stopping the clock. If you're gonna go for the quick game and short stuff, again, I think we all get too cute as coaches. I think you run the ball there. But
you know what, Coach? Last night we had the pleasure of being in Washington, D.C. and actually doing a women's professional league game, and same thing with a team that was winning the game and running the clock out, and they start chucking the ball again down the field. We saw it last weekend. It's almost like a bad habit, and it's a theme. We've said it numerous times. Run the football. That less things bad can happen when you do that. But
this play should get us to the 2-minute warning unless there's a timeout called.
So 3rd down and 12 yards to go. Legree has plenty of time, and he tries to go to Evan Morrell, and Morrell was, I want to say, at best triple covered or double covered, and almost 3 defenders around him, drawing a lot of attention on that deep out. So that actually stops the clock, and that's going to bring up 4th down. It's going to be short of the 2-minute warning, 2:21 on the clock. So I see number 12, which is Jordan Hallman, their punter. And do you like the call here to go ahead and punt this and try to put them deep?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need to make them work as hard as they can to get back in this game. So they're down 8 points. You need to make as much of their efforts more difficult. So here, a good punt cover here. I'd actually probably kick it through the end zone, but
Hallman is their regular punter, so he is experienced. And
I don't
he is
believe
from
what I know of him, he's not a threat to run.
No. So there was a late addition.
Timeout.
And they're going to head and call timeout because I know they were coming close to a delay. So it's going to be timeout Hitmen.
Nope, they got the delay game.
Oh, they did get the delay game. They hit him with it. Okay. So much for that. So they did not get the timeout in time. The refs hit him with that delay. So it's going to put him back 5. I guess not a terrible thing for the punter if you're trying to drop it deep.
Yeah, and as long as he can get some hang time under this, we have a decent breeze at his back, he should be able to get a good kickoff here.
A little bit of pressure. Holman drives it, and he's putting it out to the left here, and that's a great kick.
You couldn't have asked for a better kick.
What a punt by Holman. He drops that right at the 5-yard line, and he was aiming for corner the whole entire way. You could literally see after the snap, he literally just kind of aimed his body to the left and got that thing away.
Yeah, that was a great kick. I mean, that's why having a kicker or a punter on your roster at this level of football is so important.
Excellent weapon to have.
It changes the way you can coach a game, clock management, everything. Just having a guy that can just kick the ball doesn't make him a punter.
We were always blessed with that back in the day. And so Patillo Companies, the heavy construction with a plan. Patillo incorporates tight management controls on all of their projects. They believe in checks and balances management style, in which all employees take full responsibility for their areas of expertise. Their foremen, laborers, carpenters, and operators are highly skilled union employees. Their specialists are also led by some of the most qualified superintendents and project managers in the industries. Patillo Companies. Okay, so now 1st and 10, 4 seconds before the 2 minutes, and the Jackals are going to hand off, and that's going to go nowhere. That's going to lose yardage.
Now let's see how Alonzo Martinez can deal with little adversity here. They lost 2 yards on 1st down, but again, explosive offenses are dangerous from any point on the field.
So the 2-minute warning is going to show 1:57 on the clock, and when you're on the 5-yard line or back farther, and you're going to run the ball, I don't know so much. He almost looked like that was like a read kind of.
I think it was
play.
an RPO, and again, those go out the window at this point in the game. You have to your playbook now. You have to go 95 yards inside of 2 minutes. All that cute stuff goes out the window. You have to do what you do well in practice and get the ball down the field.
Yeah, and running sideways on an RPO, it just allowed the defense on the Hitmen to go ahead and shut that down.
I don't know what Alonzo Martinez is thinking.
All right, so now we are coming out with 2nd down and 12, and the Jackals have their heels up against the end zone line, and Trotman will be back to pass. He's going down over the middle and dangerous.
He had an open receiver. I don't know if his arm is that big. That would have been about 50 yards down the field. But he did have an open receiver in Bailey, but he outran his arm.
Yeah, Bailey was open, absolutely, Coach. And Jamar Robinson, number 2, is who he tried to go for. And his corner, who was covering him, was step for step, and he had help over the top. So, again, what you called on before, that 3-man front for Central Penn, and you can see from the 20-yard line in, they've pretty much got every area covered back there.
Yeah, so to me, you're running a dime defense or a nickel defense. Here you have to match their numbers, 3 over 3 to that side. Again, they have 2 over 1, not a good look on this side, but.
And Traum will be back to pass, and he's throwing another out, and that to Bailey, and that is knocked down. Looks like number 23, that was Howard Holton on the coverage.
Well, now you have 4th down, 12 yards to go. I don't know how many playbooks you've looked at, but 4th and anything longer than 1, it's tough. And now you have 4th and 12, and you're literally in your own end zone.
And we don't want to keep beating a dead horse. However, you brought this up numerous times. Those feet on Trotman, he's throwing. Now that pass, I watched him specifically throw that ball off the back. He's leaning back and he's throwing kind of off his back foot, and he's trying to throw a farther out. So that's not an easy pass to complete that way. So the Jackals are going to line up in punt formation, and I don't know so much as if the Hitmen believe it completely, but they are going to go ahead and get rid of this, and that's a real shaky punt that went short.
It was muffed. I mean, they got the punt off. The returner muffed it, but he was able to recover it.
Yeah, and that was the right play. They needed to get that out of there. It would have been they could have used something a little bit longer, but he just got that out of there. Left-footed punter, and that was muffed by a Hitman player, but he did recover his own. Ball. That's
So you have a minute and 35 seconds. I believe the Jackals have all 3 timeouts. It's not the end of the world here. You need to get the ball back. You need a 3 and out. You need to get the ball back.
Yeah, you don't want to give up that first down. So they're going to call, and they declined it. So they did have an illegal man. Somebody left early on the line of the punt on the punt play. Excuse me, and
I believe it was a snapper, and I think he did it on the play before that.
Okay.
The last punt, he did the same thing.
So they picked up. The ref crew did get that one, so they are going to they did decline the penalty, the Hitmen, so they're going to take over 1st and 10 on the 33-yard line, looks like, just inside. And Legree is pumping that right up to Marquise Edwards again.
No, that's Raheem
Ridley. I'm sorry, excuse me. Raheem Ridley, excuse me.
And that's who, listen, I'm going to be honest with you, that's who I'd want the ball in the hands of at this point in the game. He's a seasoned vet. He's going to. And
I think Ridley, and again, there's a timeout called by the Jackals. And we know Ridley very well, Coach, and we know that he's he may be an older player, a veteran player, but he's in better shape than just about everybody else on the football field. And that's a kind of, just like you said, and I agree 100%, that's the guy that you probably want to put the ball in his hands for this final ride here.
And it's more about security of the football. He's going to fight for every inch. I'm not saying that the rest of the backs wouldn't, but it's more about faith in the guys you're giving to put the ball in their hands.
Yeah, and you could see that he was a little upset because he got tripped up there. He thought he had should have had a little bit of a better run, a little bit better yardage there. And that's what he does every play. He's his own worst critic. He wants to excel and score on every play, and if he doesn't, he sometimes he takes it completely to heart. So he does play with a lot of passion.
Well, I can tell he doesn't settle for average.
Absolutely not. So here we go, 2nd down and about 6 yards, I'd say. Single back, and that's going to be Ridley again, and there he goes, and right through the middle of the field, and that takes it down for a 1st down. And
timeout.
And that's the Raheem Ridley that we notice, and you could see how, again, a veteran player, and see how well he hit that hole and just running low, running quick, and that's a big pickup for a 1st down.
Yeah, and again, that's veteran leadership on the field. Someone who knows the down and distance, knows the situations, been there before, doesn't shrink in the moment, doesn't shrink in the light, and he's just going to make a play for you.
So with a new set of downs,
they should be able to knee this out here.
1st and 10.
Yep, and they can get a 1st down, but they shouldn't need to.
No, I don't think. I think they could take 2 knees, and that's going to end the game, Coach.
So 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, and they're going to line up into victory formation here.
That's my favorite formation.
So, Coach, in the second half, we saw what you had said going into the first half, when the first half was over, about you really wanted to see, 2 things you mentioned. You said, who's going to make the adjustments in the second half? The second thing was you wanted to see the Hitmen establish the run.
And I'm going to be honest with you, not only did they establish the run, which obviously they did. I mean, I don't know the stats, but they probably had – over 100 yards rushing in that half alone. But they also, there goes our last knee, they also made the best halftime adjustment. They changed the defense. They kept the ball in front of them. They didn't let the big play beat them. Yes, they did give up a score. No, they didn't give up a score in the second half, but they did give up a couple of big plays.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the coaching staff put them in a position to win this game.
Yeah, and I think one of the most impressive things is that they pitched a shutout, the Hitmen, in the second half, like you were saying.
Yeah, and again, I was also impressed with the play of the quarterback, Legree is, again, a seasoned vet. He made good, sound decisions. Again, he did make some mistakes. I'm not going to hold him harmless, but at the end of the day, those are the guys that are the difference between winning and losing. And as a coach, that's why everyone would say, oh, why do you want this guy? Why do you want that? That's why they want that guy.
Yeah, and that's the veteran presence. And veterans always seem to get it done on this level. So the Jaguars now are going to go and start the season. They're going to have a week off for the holiday next week, but they're going to go to 0-2. And I don't know who they play in 2 weeks, but they will. They probably got to go back to the drawing board a little bit. They've definitely had the talent to hang with most of these teams, but it seems like last week and this week, same type of thing. They just keep doing a few things that just don't work out for them.
They are a championship team at the end of the day. This is the base of this team. It's championship level team, albeit they're 0-2, but being 0-2 does not end your season. A lot of teams have been 0-2 and have won championships. So I really think they have the Wolfpack next week, I believe, Coach, and then then I believe they have the unit after. And
that's going to be their that'll be technically, because of the opening weekend last weekend at the same location. That'll be the Jaguars' first home game against the Wolfpack. And this Hitmen team here, they're going to have to travel up to Newark to play the unit. So they both got big games on their table in 2 weeks.
Well, at the end of the day, you have two teams that came into the game 0-1. Somebody had to win it. The Hitmen were the better team today, but that doesn't end anybody's season. Nope. We have a lot of football left to play this year, and either one of these teams we could be seeing in June.
Yep, definitely could be a playoff. So we thank everybody for watching today, the HSG Network. I want to thank Pat Riley, the coach. I'm Art Elias, and we nudged Howard to wake him up for the end of the game here on the controls, and he does a great job on the camera and on your controls for your viewing pleasure. So the Central Penn Hitmen are winners today, 22-14 over the Jersey Jackals, and we thank you for watching